The studio for Sankei Shimbun Cup, and we have a special guest in the studio today. He's not going to be commentating this week, but he came to see what the studio's like. Daniel, what's up?
So happy to be here. He's so busy right now. They're in between games, in between game 3 and 4, and so people are walking in and out. But all the pros that I've watched on the stream, they're all walking around.
Is it like surreal? Like,
it is.
Did you think you'd be here?
No, and I visited the studio earlier where the production side, where they put everything together, and there are so many screens, there are so many switches, it's so complex, but they do a fantastic job. We need to set up like that.
Yeah, it's
for
inspiration, right? We want to get lots more stuff in America and get this going. But everyone was like so excited to meet Nathaniel and like, oh, English commentary.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. To meet everybody on the Japanese side, it's incredible.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, they were running late this morning, I think, or the games were running long. People are walking in and out, but I'm gonna play next. Thank you.
2 games, right?
Oh, let's meet Sui-san. Okay. Okay. So good luck.
kind of jealous that thanks to WRC Tokyo 2025, Nathaniel wasn't able to not only visit Japan, but even visit the studio of the Sankei Shimbun Cup Women's League.
Yeah,
That's
he
awesome.
did we did a lot with Nathaniel while he was here. We did an entire day of shooting before WRC even started with some of the new World Reach pros. And I'm so excited for that video. I just have to get it edited. I have 2 like really cool videos coming for the WRC channel.
We have a question in chat. Was that before or after WRC? That clip?
That clip was after. That was actually at Sankei Shimbun Cup, so it was just yesterday.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Kyle. Hello, everyone. And obviously, the wonderful Jenn is joining me for Game 1. The person behind the controls today and commentating matches 2 and 3 is Harrison. But we'll also get to hear from tipzntrix and Corak later on. But yeah, our broadcast today is sponsored by WRC and USPML. Obviously, we'll start with WRC this time because WRC Tokyo just happened. And
World Reach Championship. It was a long week, but it was way too short.
Yeah, I think that's always the case, right?
Yeah.
Whenever these things happen, you spend so long preparing for it, and it's great, and then it's done. And oh, wait, what? That's done.
I mean, it is only 1 week. You go like things like World Series of Poker. It's like 6 weeks long. I think when you're there the whole time, then it doesn't feel like it's too short.
Yeah. Either way, though. And another thing we mentioned in chat, of course, the JPML YouTube channel for English. I swear I thought I heard Nathaniel. Unless that was Kelly. I'm mixing my voices up. But a lot of voices you might recognize.
Both of them were on the WRC broadcast on the JPML English channel. Curly was there the first 3 days. Maybe the first, and then Nathaniel hopped in for the last 2 days.
Yeah, definitely checked a lot of those broadcasts, and I would recommend to anyone to go check them out, especially when enjoying the commentators, because there are going to be a lot of names you recognize. For example, I don't know, maybe Jenn. Maybe Jenn might be there too.
Yeah, probably. I was there a lot of the time. We did rotate out. The last day, I think it was Garth and Nathaniel and me for all 4 games.
Yeah, I definitely tuned in for that final. But yeah, exciting stuff. I'm sure we'll hear more about WRC as time goes on. We're also sponsored, of course, by USPML. We hope you'll check out Sparrow's Nest, a New York Mahjong studio, fully equipped with Slim Score Ultimate and Rex 3 order tables. I guess there's one other event that's happening right now that maybe got overshadowed by WRC Tokyo. That being the World Reach Online Team League.
Yes.
Which has been having its first week. I haven't looked at the scores yet. I should really get on that because I wasn't a part of week 1. But you can join at any point during the league. So maybe from this weekend onwards, I'll be playing and hopefully having a good time. Are you having a team yet, Jenn? Is that confirmed?
No. I had so much trauma, so I decided I was not going to create a team this time.
Okay.
That
I know there's been discussion.
If I was invited, I would play, but I was not going to make a team because, I was. And it's kind of weird because I kind of it was kind of my idea to do a league like this, and then I just decided this time I'm too sad trying to make a team and getting turned down a lot, so I just did it.
We would have happily had you on our team. For the record.
No. That has to be that has to be a priority for the commentators that are not me. So
okay. But either way, though, I hope you do find a team and get to play, because I want to play against you. I want to. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, Cairo likes to beat me in Roddle after I have 2 good games, and then.
I'm so sorry about that. I had a streak where it was on a lost streak, and then I played you and Gemma. Yeah, so I got very lucky those 2 games. I'm not gonna lie, but I did get a very good streak at the end of that. So it's pretty good for me. I don't think
there's any question that you are definitely stronger than Gemma and me.
Can't be true. But yeah, we are the WRC YouTube channel. If you're enjoying these broadcasts, please do give the videos a like, maybe subscribe to the channel. The more our channel grows, the more stuff we'll be able to broadcast for y'all. But let's talk about the Sankei Shimbun Cup. It's made of 2 leagues. We have the Scepter League in Tokyo and the Orb League in Western Japan. In Tokyo, we have 60 teams split into 15 groups of 4. Each group battles the other 3 teams in their group over 10 sessions, and the top team from each group and the top individual players advance to 2 different final tournaments. The Orb League has 5 groups, and since they're in different locations, their games are more spread out, and each region has their own schedule. But yes, 60 teams, and we're watching session 2 of 10 today. WRC also sponsored a team this season as well, made up an entirely international roster. We have Gemma as the sort of team captain from the UK, well, Jenn from the US, Mio from South Korea, and Yumi Uotani from Japan complete the roster. I definitely recommend that you tune in on the next time we broadcast this event, as Team WRC, I believe, play on the 15th of August. So we're going to be able to see you guys play. I think that's
August is
great.
our stream date. Is it the 15th?
Yeah, I want to see you win. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, it will be the 15th. So we'll play on the 14th, and we're in the evening session, so it'll be broadcast here on the 15th.
Well, best of luck. I'm not, no pressure, of course, but I'm sure you're going to do great. But we're not watching your team this time around. We're watching Group 10's second session. And sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Please.
Oh, I think I was just gonna say there's also a team intro video where we announced that Uotani's on our team this year on this channel, if you're so interested.
Yeah, I think we played it on the very first stream, but also it's a standalone. You can find it on the WRC channel, absolutely. But
Yes.
yeah, it was kind of an exciting moment, I'm not gonna lie.
It was. We had a whole broadcast to announce it as well. Yeah, there were some free agents, and Uotani happened to be one of them.
Yeah, snap that up as quickly as you can.
Yeah, I found out later that also Rei Kawakami didn't have a team. She was also appearing on the WRC broadcast. And
Okay.
she won 2 years ago. She was the winner, the individual winner 2 years ago, and she doesn't have a team this year. So lots of strong players are free agents. So if anyone wants to sponsor teams next year, we can find you some strong players.
That could be quite exciting. Yeah, I definitely would be interested in seeing more sort of I guess foreign teams or more international teams in events like this. That'd be really cool to see.
Yeah, I think our team is still the only one with any non-Japanese players, and there are more of those as well too. So.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with the rise of WRC pros.
Yeah, I mean it's hard because you have to be in Japan to play.
Yes, that's true.
But Rika doesn't have a team this year as well. That was a hard choice. Also, yeah, I think some more. Yeah, there's more international players too. Danny can play. Danny doesn't have a team. Lots. Anyway, so we can.
Yeah, I suppose we'll talk about kind of be interesting discussion to bring up later maybe. But for now, let's have a look at Group 10, because as the scores are right now, Hokkaido and Mahjong fan meeting are really, really far ahead. This has been they've only played 3 games, right? There must be 3 wins to get a score of 115.7.
Yeah. I think Sakiku played the first 3 games and she did really well.
Yeah, exactly. So, of course, it is only the first session. We have 9 more to go. We're going to see one of them today. Metajan and Musume can get ahead easily, but even Aokei with what looks like, unfortunately, maybe 3 losses in a row. They can always fight it back. We've seen that team do very well last season as well. So
It did, but Aokei switched out their entire team. So they have three new players on their team. Rina Ando switched from Ronron to this team. And Mio Sakura ended up joining the Ronron team in her place. And also Kokubun Press Industry is a brand new team. One of the Yukiko Izumi was on one of the KO teams last year, and Saori Shimizu did not play last year, and she's in now, and she of course is the reigning Women's League champion for JPML. Also made the best 16 at WRC. So they have some strong competitors, and their new team that hasn't really played together as a unit before.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, even if it just takes like a bit of time to sort of settle down, I'm sure that the scores are going to even out a little bit as we go on. But yes, so for game one in the East seat, representing Team Aokei, we have Sanaka Iinuma. In the South seat, representing Team Hokkaido Mahjong Fan Meeting, we have Sakiku Tezuka. In the West seat, representing Team Kokubun Press Industry, we have Yukiko Izumi. And finally, in the North seat, representing Team Metajan Musume, we have Mayu Sugano. We know what the scores are.
Sanaka Iinuma didn't play last year at all. The other three did, like we said, Yukiko Izumi switched teams, and also Metajan is a new team, so Mayu Sugano also switched teams.
Yeah, I like the little logo. I would never know to translate it without doing a little bit of research myself, but yeah, it's a good logo. I like it. And I suppose
also I have their orgs.
Okay.
So Sanaka Iinuma is from Saikoisen Pro Mahjong. Sakiku and Yukiko are both from JPML, and Mayu Sugano is also from SPM. So it's a Saikoisen versus JPML table.
Great. I do wonder sometimes how that changes things, because obviously maybe you're not necessarily in the same league or sort of the same division, but like when you play each other a lot.
If I don't know the player personally, generally I don't even know or think of what league they're in, what org they're in. I don't know if the other people do or not, but on an individual basis, generally we don't even consider what organizations people are in.
Yeah, I think it really only matters if like you're in the same sort of division, you play that person a lot, right? If you know them personally, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and our team tends to try and play against teams that we don't really know very well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know there was I remember hearing some gossip that there was one team you decided not to play against. If I remember correctly.
Oh, there was more than one.
Oh, there were a few, yeah, okay.
Kokubun was one of them, for sure.
Okay. So we're gonna be.
Yeah, there were plenty. But I had a whole like notes and list of all these groups that I was like, we don't want to be in that group. We don't want to be in that group. That I was writing while they were doing the selection.
Yeah, honestly,
last year we only had a choice from two groups. We were almost the last team to select. But this year we were one of the first teams to select, so we had the choice of the lot.
I guess that comes at the cost of everyone maybe knowing that you're playing in that team, so they can choose to join you or avoid you, I guess.
Yeah, so we chose to avoid a lot of teams, and we ended up in Group 11.
Well, sounds good to me. And I suppose it's time to wish all these 4 players the best of luck and see how they do.
Let's do it. Of course, we watched Sakiku win one of the World Reach Championship professional qualifiers, so she did play in the main event. See Oh, it's interesting, the uniform. Oh, look, who's that in the background?
Oh, yeah,
That looks
who
like a
could that
Jenn.
possibly be? I've got to ask how you're doing specifically at some point. I should probably do that. Is it rude? Is it rude to ask how you...
We do have a video report of how I did. So.
Okay, so we'll have to look forward to that.
And also we have after this game, we can check out the WRC team starting standings. Our engineers should have that screen as well.
Then I am looking forward to that.
We can check those out before I leave before both of us leave after the first game.
Awesome. It's a pretty interesting start for two players here. Obviously, we have the potential seven pairs hand here from Tezuka, which I wouldn't even normally try and force, but because we've got that single Dora one man, I would be more inclined to make that happen. Obviously, Sugano right now is probably the closest to Tempai as the start shows. Currently just one away.
Or that Yukiko Izumi is always a really fast player. That tile goes in, tile goes out. And also Sakiku is often like that as well. And when two players at the table are like that, the other players tend to play quickly to match their speed.
See, it makes sense, yeah. The other benefit of doing that is obviously it means that the other players have less time to think sometimes. Like trying to sort of just set the pace. And obviously for pros, it doesn't necessarily matter as much. You assume that they aren't going to be desperately trying to say, oh, that time. Yeah, I was about to say, this is a very interesting situation for Tezuka there because we could keep the really nice one away but and cut the door out, or we could try and just rely on having that extra value. The one man stays. I think it's really interesting because the hand
All the
wasn't worth
players
too
are
many
really
points
hanging
otherwise.
on. Yeah, all the players really hanging on to Iinuma as well, and Izumi. They all have a floating Dora, and they're all hanging on to it.
Yeah, I do think we might see Tezuka reach on the Dora only because this hand is looking like it's going to end up being a pure sequence if we're lucky drawing that three of bamboo. But otherwise, a lot of value, and the Dora is going to be there to make that happen. Obviously, this seven pairs hand I was talking about earlier is getting very close to Tempai. I believe it now only needing one more to be ready to win. But that also might end up waiting on the Dora, so we might have a situation where two players are waiting on the same
Sugano,
tile.
Sugano's the only one who really can use the Dora easily, and she is the only one that doesn't have it.
Yeah.
She has all the twos that the other people cannot use.
Yeah, that three does not help, especially after cutting the two. Okay. Yeah, this makes sense. It's
Cheat
going to be a
Tempai.
cool Tempai. Cannot
And
win on
now
the
she
Dora
can't
one.
use the Dora. Yeah, she can't. She needs the 3 or the 4 because she has no Yaku.
But it's still a two-sided weight, and in this situation where you're the first person to Tempai, I think it's quite interesting.
Could I had a shot at changing to a middle 4 character weight. Would eliminate the chance at Furi-ten if she ends up drawing the Dora,
Hmm.
but she did not take it. She kept the 3 option as well. Now with
We
a
do
reach
have
in
that.
Tezuka's, yeah, she's stuck on both the 8 and the Dora, and she'll fold out.
Yeah, I think it's one of those situations where if you manage to pair the Dora earlier, it's a no-brainer. You probably just push that hand as much as you can, but you only see one Dora, and there's a reach out. No way to know it's a seven pairs hand waiting on the one, but there's this Patsusumo! No error flip, but still, Riichi Ipatsusumo, Shitoitsu, Dora 2,
As a
as
dealer
dealer.
Hanemon.
Yes.
And I noticed the
Well,
Aokei uniform has the Matsukaze logo and the Mahoko logo, which I believe are both teams last season that are not teams this season. So maybe they kind of joined together.
I guess that makes sense, right? Even if you're not necessarily part of the team name, you can sort of lend your name to the team. Yeah, I like
Yeah,
that.
well, it is. Yeah, there is a participation fee that
Hmm.
the sponsoring team pays. So it would make sense for the 3 teams to join together to pay that fee and sponsor the players.
Yeah, exactly. Even if it's just like getting the brand out, even if it's not as the team name, it's still worth something to have your name on that player's shirt, especially if they win, right?
Yeah, it also makes sense for why they would have 3 brand new players. It's a new team with new ownership, a sort of merged team.
Yeah, that makes sense. But yes, I'll let you guys in on a secret, by the way. Uh, in the Discord, I heard I did see a message from a certain someone who was here live when this game happened. They said it was very exciting, so I'm looking forward to watching this game. And an opening like that is definitely one of the ways to make that happen. Once again, the 1/9 is Dora. And once again, we have the dealer going for 7 pairs, trying to get the Dora. This time it's going to be
For
less likely
last
to
time.
happen. We have 2
Well, this
given away
time,
in Blue's hand, though.
yeah, Izumi has a bunch of the Dora this time, so
That is one of the good things about 7 pairs, right? You can fold it quite easily. If you decide, you know what, I don't need to win this hand, you can give up on it really, really easily. Another pair here, but obviously that 7, 7, 8, 8, 9 is hopefully going to be 2 sequences rather than 3 pairs. But there's yet another pair for Sugano. Why is every hand Chitoy? I can tell you one hand that won't be Chitoy, and that is going to be Izumi. If she can get to Tempai in time, because we do see yet another pair being drawn by Sugano. And with that, we also see that Tezuka now is 1 away from Tempai. What I believe is just a reach only. I'll have to quickly triple check that again. But okay, we have a call, and with that call, we're going to be swapping our hand over to a half flush, getting rid of all of those bamboo tiles.
the
Actually,
tiles.
how does that discard look? The discard does look, it is kind of screaming like a half flash. It's 1 away, though, with that 9 of characters draw. And yes, everyone is probably going to be thinking that at this point, they've made that call. They haven't discarded any character tiles yet. So maybe they aren't quite Tempai. But it's always that risk you take. A really interesting draw here for. Oh, we're back. We're back. Are you seeing this, Jen?
Yes.
Uh, just so I was getting some screen freezing is all.
That, yeah, me too. We're back.
Okay.
I'm back as well. Much wider
In
hand
that
for
case,
Tezuka now that
Sugano is
she
Tempai.
has discarded her honor tiles.
So Sugano's Tempai right now, waiting on the 3 and 6 of characters. We do see a lot of them already discarded, and their discard pool looks very much
Reach
like a
for
flush.
Izumi.
It's not going to stop this reach, though.
3/6 dot weight. And that will not stop Sugano. She just pushes the Dora immediately.
And we are going to see another reach. So
From
4/7 does
Tezuka.
it. The 7 gives a pure of a sequence. But we know where at least 3 of the 7s are. Where's the 4th one? Maybe it's still available
It's
for that
actually
really
not that
nice win.
often you see a half flush in the Dora suit and then that Dora is discarded while Tempai.
Yeah, that is a really interesting point. I think we saw. Obviously, she's got 2 of characters in her hand. I wonder how many of the. I don't think there are any 2s discarded by anyone else, so you can't really rule out someone having that 2/3 shape. Either way, though, we did see a self-draw win.
Tezuka drew her winner, not the expensive side. It's just Riichi Food Sumo. 700, 1300 with 1 continuance from the hand that the dealer won. Good enough to move the dealership to Tezuka.
Yeah, it might not be a dealer Hanama, but especially with the team scores as the way they are, getting a small positive and having last place get a first wouldn't be the worst outcome. Obviously, still want to go for first place there, though. And with her dealership, she might be able to make that happen. Although everyone's hand is
Scores.
really fast today.
I mean, they're playing very quickly as as we mentioned. Um, scores look a little bit lower than you would normally see in a pro match. Most pro matches, except for NPM, Nihon Pro Mahjong Association, except for that league, all the scores generally start at 30,000. And with these rules, the Mondo rules, they start at 25,000.
Because of the Oka, right? The ante. So you
Yes.
sort of have to imagine that they started at 30,000, but put 5,000 to one side. That goes to the winner at the start of the match.
Yeah, and that's not necessarily the case for online games that you play. So in Japan, if you start with 25,000, the 5,000 is always going to go to first place at the end, but for some reason the online games are not programmed like that.
Yeah,
It's kind of,
honestly, the
yeah,
online rule
weird
set
way.
is always interesting, right? With the way that they sometimes punish or reward certain positions. It's definitely not as balanced as you might expect, but I guess it makes sense, though, right? When you've got that many players, you want to have a ranking system which sort of is catered to the person's rank. In
Another thing
person,
is when
though,
you're playing games like this that are broadcast, it's a little bit more exciting when players have more of an incentive to go for first place.
oh, absolutely.
And generally in pro matches, they don't like systems that just reward last avoidance.
Yeah, obviously, last point still is nice in a format like this. If you get second place every single game, you are going to be probably top two overall. But yeah, would be nice to get some firsts. It's always interesting to see that sort of how the rules make you change the way you play, right? I
They,
know that I am probably really bad at this format because I am very good at settling for second place.
I mean, second place is generally good. It's usually positive. The thing that the last avoidance is really only used in these formats as a last resort if you're in third place and you or in fourth place and you're trying to really just avoid last. But generally, you have to push for first. If you're second place out of these four teams at the end, you're not moving on to the finals.
Yes. One other thing one of the things I think is really interesting is how the gaps get bigger the higher up you go. So the gap between fourth and third, I think, is 10. The gap between third and second is 20, and the gap between second and first, I think, is effectively 30. So each position's worth more points, and you really are encouraged to go for that first place. Either way, let's get back to this game. This is really interesting situation. I think I'm mixing my players here because I did see someone who was potentially on for a 4-5-6 mixture sequence. I'm not sure it's Izumi. It's yes, it's Sugano here. I'm very very excited about. Obviously got that for Mandora, but if we do draw the right tempi, 4-5-6 minute triple sequence for an extra two hand, we are going to see his reach there. I believe only on the 5 of bamboo. There's one of them right now. I
Izumi
don't.
is also Tenpai. She was waiting for the 3 bamboo, and now she draws a better weight, but that would make her 30-10 with the 3-6 weight. So she decides to maybe not fold, but at least roll a hand over, push the decision to the next draw.
You never know what the next draw is going to be, right? You never know where the hope's going to come. And with that 4 draw, the 4-5-6 minute triple sequence is now achievable for Sugano. Still needs to get to that tempi though. Still one away. This 8 of characters is not looking that safe. There's been quite a few character discards from the dealer's reach pile, but with the dealer reach tile being the 9, did they cut the 5? No. No, they've cut 7 a few times. Still wouldn't feel that comfortable about it.
Iinuma went
Looks like we're
away.
seeing.
Now the decision has been made. Izumi will fold completely.
Honestly, I
Sugano
respect
takes
it.
Tenpai, waiting for the 4-7 bamboo, and she reaches. 2 Dora in her
Yeah,
hand. The Dora pairs up, and that's good enough to push back against Tezuka's
missed
reach.
the Mrs. Sanchoku, but Dora 2 is almost as good, so nothing wrong with that. In fact, I think it's even better because the Sanchoku was guaranteed, even though we got the 6 of characters there. I'm liking the chat. Mahjong is cool when you win. It's true. Mahjong can be cool when you lose sometimes, depending on the stakes and whether you had a good time.
Pronoun is too ambiguous there. Mahjong is cool when Jen wins.
Oh, I see. Okay, let's do a bit of counting because obviously we see a lot of the fours and sevens in Inuma's hand.
Iinuma-san, yeah, one of the I think the last four, yeah, just came into Iinuma's hand, and she has all three of the sevens.
Yeah, the 4-7 bamboo weight. It is going to get no tempo payment, but there were no tiles left to draw after that last one. But still, 1,500 points. Tezuka will keep her dealership. Sugano gets a small reward for that. Although with the Riichi sticks, it's going to make this next East 2 very interesting. 2 Riichi sticks, 1 repeat counter. Obviously, we're not talking dealer Hanuman levels of value, but these things add up. I guess I'm contractually obliged to cheer for Team Aokei right now because they are the ones in the last place position. But
So it's easier than trying to decide whether I need to cheer for Tezuka or Izumi. Izumi was my roommate at the WRC in Vienna.
that's a much
And
better reason to cheer for someone.
Tezuka-
I'm going to drop the last place cheering.
Also, Tezuka, she was on my personal YouTube channel when we were streaming a live game, Tezuka versus Garth versus KY versus Jen.
That go. I mean, I suppose you have to watch the video to find out.
Yeah, we did. We just played live. It was I don't remember who won. It was just kind of a fun little session. I set up a few cameras so we could see people's hands and things.
Awesome.
Not like a full setup like this, but
So looking at things right now, everyone's hands developing quite nicely. Izumi's one away from Tenpai, but has 2 terrible weights. It's going to be interesting to see, like, how long do you keep that 1-2 bound shape? Yeah, exactly. Now's the time to get rid of it. There's actually a very slim chance of maybe building an Itsu, but that is slim at this point. Here on the rest of the table. Everyone else's hand, as I say, it's developing, but it's not. No one's quite there yet, and I'm not seeing any huge amounts of value. But currently, I believe 1 away for Iinuma
Iinuma is
as
one
well.
way.
That is a very interesting pickup. Going to help speed that hand along. Still got some that awful Ryankan shape. I say awful because it's sort of the last shape that needs to fill in. Early on, they're really nice to keep, but
You have to make a decision. Like it's annoying
Sugano right
because
now, one of
generally
them.
you choose wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it's 50-50, right? It's 50-50, and half the time
It's
you're going to
it's
draw
more
the other
like
one.
80-20 that you're gonna
Yeah.
draw the one that you discarded,
Oh,
the
okay.
side that you discarded. Yeah, those are
That makes
the
sense.
official statistics.
Yeah, I really do like the one away for Sugano. 2 different sequences. Sorry, like 2 different pairs attached to a sequence that can turn into either a sequence or the pair. It's very, very wide.
And
So much
Iinuma just
acceptance.
tempied right there with a 3 character weight in the middle. She has the green dragon, so she doesn't have to reach. But Sugano will reach, waiting for the 3/6 character, so they have the same weight on one side,
On one
and
side.
Sugano has 2 of them.
1/6 of characters was just drawn, I think.
And 2 of them in
Uh,
Izumi's hand already as well.
hmm. With the 4th one discarded, it is just that 3 of characters that'll do it. But the reach has made Iinuma
And
fold.
there's 1 3 here too, so maybe 1 3 left in the wall.
Just doing a quick filter. Oh, and
There
there
it
it is.
is. Iinuma.
So this
Right
reach,
after she folded.
yeah, it's unfortunate, isn't it? But then if your hand's bad and someone else is in reach, you don't need to take that risk, especially from first place.
Yeah.
Very disciplined. Having said that, though,
Tezuka
it
fills in
has
her form.
exactly created an option for Tezuka to win this. Although, having said that, the 4-pin is not the greatest weight. We do see a lot of them being held. Swapped it to the pair weight on the 5-pin and 8 of bamboo. Bamboo was recently discarded, but there are actually left. 5-pin was Dora, though. That's the important thing. We're not discarding Dora.
Tenpai Tezuka will be dealer again, this time no reach, so she gets the full score increase of 1,500 points. Only got 500 net last time since she had reached. And now there are 3 reach 6 on the board going into the next hand.
Yeah, 3 reach 6, 2 repeat counters. A lot of points on the table to whoever manages to win this one. Tezuka's got her eyes on the prize, though. As the dealer. So here's my question. How many reach sticks does it have to be for you to decide, you know what, one hand's enough? It's
Depends
these
on
two.
what your score is. Generally, I would say 2-ish.
Hmm,
Depends on your score, and it also depends on um, what rules you're playing. So 2
that's
reach
very
6
true.
on the board is worth a lot more in the JPML A rules than they are in these rules with the Ipatsu and Ura, the sort of
Yes.
inflated uh,
Ipatsu,
rule set.
if your rule set has red fives as well, that's something to keep in mind. This doesn't, of course, but yeah, when you're playing at home, depends on how. But yeah, I think it's really interesting though, because I oftentimes if you've got value, you should probably go for it anyway. But there comes a point when there are enough reachy sticks, you're like, you know what? Maybe I just want to get well, a small win, but with a nice little pot. Either way, though, speaking of fast hands, we do have a very fast one from Sugano. She's got the sort of the standard sort of efficient pinfu building, and it's just not quite paid out yet. This is Tenpai waiting on the 8 of characters, choosing not to reach because the 8 is maybe not the greatest weight out there. There are plenty of upgrades, and it's still very early. I definitely could say I've been tempted to reach hands like that because I think even though the weight's bad, it's early enough that maybe just go for it. But she has the Pure sequence hidden in there. She doesn't need to reach to be able to run anyone.
Nice fill-in for Izumi. She might be going for a full straight here in a second. Tezuka trying to decide. Too many pairs in the hand. But it doesn't look like an all pairs hand. Losing the 2 or discarding the 2 dot will lose her door acceptance. Few options here. She could will go for the inside hand even though it is a double east for her.
I was going to say, like, if you weren't dealer, it's pretty much a non-brainer. But being the dealer and that East being worth 2 hands, you triple it up. But
But
either way, the
Sugano will
8
win first.
eventually came out. Not a huge win, just pure door sequence only. But with that pot, 4,900 points. Pretty significant, especially from Iinuma. Getting to not quite within 10,000, but almost 12,000. As we move on to East 3. I'm seeing a lot of Onitars, I'm seeing a lot of Manzu. It's not as exciting as I thought it was, but another chance at that double East.
Her hand was kind of hiding the dots and bamboos, and those are a little bit too complete to go for a half flush here.
Yeah, exactly. But still, I do like the double East there. And the pair of the Red Dragon. Definitely a hand that you can call, just try and make as quickly as possible. I think the Red Dragon's going to come out in 1 or 2 turns from Iinuma. And then we'll have a decision to make for Izumi. I think we call it, though.
Sugano's hand is really coming together. Iinuma might have a 1, 2, 3 Sanchoku option.
Yeah, I definitely see that.
Izumi, I
Although we
think,
are
won it.
killing the one man. I think honestly you don't keep one man. Maybe you keep a three if you drew the three first, just to have that acceptance and that maybe that long shot of it. But yeah,
Well, Iinuma's hand actually looks like it would turn into an outside hand. There are no red fives in this. Look right here. There's just two
mm.
extra fives there, and the rest could be an outside hand with a 1, 2, 3 Sanshoku.
Sugano taking the slightly. It's always interesting, right? When you get that sort of 6-6-8 shape, but the six is your only pair. I think it's interesting that we keep the eight, especially I guess the nine being Dora means that maybe if we do draw Dora, we might want to try and use it. But already one away from Tenpai for Sugano.
Yeah, I do think she's looking at the 6, 7, 8 Sanshoku mixed
That's also
sequences
possible.
in case she can make a pair someplace else.
We have an
Yeah, the
Hatsune
2, 3
call.
bamboo shape is not complete, so it could be a pair there.
Finally,
But
the eight does go out, and we have a reach from Sugano.
yep, Tenpai takes precedence.
Absolutely. Still reach
Tezuka
between all the
also went
simples.
away.
Okay, it's only one because we get the four, but the odds of that quite high given how many ones are being held by everybody.
Discord is a little fussy today.
Mm. By my count, I believe there are 4 tiles left for this reach. One of them is the one that we don't want, which we don't get all simples from, but the other 3 are fours. And by the other 3, I mean the other 2 clearly, because I missed a pair of twos. Discord was being fuzzy.
You just
There's
need
only
one.
2 tiles, but there's one of them. And
Don't need
not-
you don't need more than one to win the hand.
the slightly unfortunate side, we didn't get that extra hand from all simples, but a win for Sugano, which actually gets her
Hey,
in
look at
second place.
whose arm is that?
Yeah, that's either a look of focus or a look of sadness. I don't quite know which.
I was deep in thought.
Ah, I see.
Oh,
That's probably why.
no 10.
That explains a lot.
If it was no 10 or somebody won the hand, I think probably no 10.
Hmm.
If I put my hand down, it's probably no 10.
I
I
really want to
think
be tempo here, but I just can't quite make it. Look, yeah. Okay, so it looks like everyone has a pretty decent start, but nothing jumps out as being particularly special. I do like the potential push of a half flush from Izumi, cutting the 1-2 man first. Obviously, that 5's going to stay just a little bit longer, just in case we get something to work with. So that's 6. There's a 4. That's not great, but it is probably worth. No, okay. I was kind of expecting an Onatar to get discarded there just to keep the 6-4, just in case we drew a 5. But no, hard committing to that flush.
mm,
Obviously, the more Onatars you keep, the more likely you are to pair up at least one of them. And there's the West.
this makes it a lot easier to call the hand and get to Tenpai, and also worth more points, especially as dealer.
Yeah, the one thing I never like doing, maybe this is my own sort of weakness showing,
Oh,
I never like
East
calling for
paired up.
just the two-hand and open half flush. Obviously, though, with that pair of Easts, suddenly it could be a Mangan. So we have a lot of value if available, but until we drew that pair,
Yeah, it's minimum Mangan even. If she can keep it closed, it could be worth a lot more, and she's only one away.
yeah, 2 very, very nice draws. This could be an explosive dealership from Sugano.
She does not pawn. Oh, now she's one away in more ways than one, because she has the all pairs option as well.
Yes.
So I think from Izumi, we'll probably see a pawn for the east if it comes out. If she tempais with all pairs beforehand. Oh, this
Doesn't
is
quite do it, right? No, it doesn't.
No, if she keeps the 2, there's more calling options,
Hmm.
and that's what she'll do, so she'll give up on the all pairs hand. She now has the option to pull in the 5 bamboo as well. As it gets later, she might choose to pull in for tenpai even if it's not worth as much.
Yeah, exactly. We have a sort of interesting sort of Sanshoku hedge from Sugano. Are we building 1, 2, 3? Are we building 2, 3, 4? Either could happen. Keeping the 1 and the 4 pin. Okay, we finally cut the 4 pin. Hoping that we draw into the 1, 2, 3, but we have the 1 of bamboo as our pair. If we can get to a normal pin through tempai.
Oh, and that is the
Oh!
most expensive one, and she will choose a 3/6 weight, but not she will keep the Dora instead of hedging the Ipeiko.
Hmm.
Definitely better to have that guaranteed 1 Han for the Dora.
And this is one of those few situations where not reaching is absolutely the correct move. You don't want to give any information away to the other players. You want to try and maximize your win rate. I think in
And
online
she
play,
could have switched to the 1 for West weight, but did not kept the 3/6 bamboo weight.
okay. Yeah, I think on online play, not reaching increases your win rate by 20%. And obviously, you get all those lovely ipatsu, you get all those lovely like error flips and things like that. But got to weigh that against the loss of win rate because everyone else knows that you're potentially ready to win.
Really strong East discard um, from Tezuka. Not Tezuka, from Iinuma, sorry. But a 6 will come out. Is this the 6? I think it was a 6.
Hmm.
From Sugano. Wait, where's the 3? Was it? Hold on. Hold on. I'm watching my poor man's replay. It was a 6. I was right the first time.
You should do that. You should actually have like an instant replay going on in the background.
Yeah, I have the stream on and it's on a slight delay, so that's my poor man's
Oh,
replay.
that makes sense. With that win, Izumi manages to get off the board in terms of actually winning hands and into third place.
I should say my poor gens. My poor gens. Instant replay.
Just generated that action replay.
Generated.
I'm sorry. I make the bad puns so that no one else has to. It's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
I wish I'd realized how many puns there were with my name when I was like in middle school, high school. It took me a long time to realize it.
I don't think I can make that many chiral puns. Maybe it's just because it's me. Maybe I can't make puns about myself. I don't know. But
Chiral doesn't fit in a lot of words.
yeah, like I guess all works. You can make like a all pun, but that's about it. Anyway, let's talk about how Izumi's already one way from Tenpai. She thinks she hit like Ishanten after the second draw, and has so many different ways this hand turns to Pinfu. And absolute worst case, so many ways it still gets a two-sided weight. We do see a swappy doppy on that 7 of bamboo, which I think is really interesting. Cutting it from the hand instead of the one that she drew, which I think it's honestly probably a good idea when your hand is already this close to Tenpai to try and make it look like you're still building a hand, and maybe that you don't want
Talking
anything around.
about, sorry, we were talking about that hand with Izumi as if she was dealer, or I was.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, she was not. You weren't, I was. For some reason, I thought Izumi was dealer last time, but she wasn't, and now we're in the South round and Iinuma's dealer.
Hmm.
All right. So it was a Mangon for Izumi because
Yes,
she
it
ended
was.
up with the Dora and didn't call. But I thought it was going to be 12,000 points. That's why I thought she would pull in
Oh,
the East.
I see. But yeah,
Yeah,
it was still 8,000 points without having to reach, which I think
yeah.
is the the dream, really.
Well, it brought her up into third place and within a really close distance of second place. She still has another dealership, so really good position with that.
Yeah, exactly. This hand is really stalled, unfortunately. Like Izumi being so close to Tenpai this whole time, finally draws a Tenpai. Are we going to see a reach on 1-4 by Bamboo?
It's not 1-4.
Oh,
Oh wait, it is, yeah. Yeah, 1-4. She does reach. And chooses the side on the outside of the blockers.
we do see,
Hmm.
unfortunately, most of the ones already discarded. In fact, I think see all 4 of the ones. She sees 2 of them. But that does not mean that the chance of her getting value is much higher, because if she does win, it's going to be on the 4 and she's going to get all simples. But we do see 3 of those 4s in Sugano's hand.
Two of the
Is there?
ones in Tezuka's hand here.
I think there's 1 4 left. I'll have to quickly check to make sure it's not hidden away somewhere.
There's
But
no ones left at all.
yeah, exactly. I think it's just 1 tile. And our dealer here, Iinuma, there it is. There's the last tile that deals in. So Izumi's out of weights. Iinuma is building all simples, cutting the pair of the wins there. In fact, this is Tenpai. It's not a Tenpai we want, but it's Tenpai waiting on the 5.
Yeah, no Yaku, right?
Yeah, Tatsuma. I think we're looking for the 4, because that would give us not only Pinfu, but all simples as well on top. And if Izumi hadn't reached, if we got that Tenpai earlier, maybe I'd take the reach myself. But no, not when there's another reach on table. It's way too risky. But there's a 5. It would have dealt in. That's perfectly okay, though. Stay safe.
Mhm.
The other really interesting draw will be the Dora, of course. Pairing that up would let you get that all simples, would let you even potentially not reach and just try and stay sneaky. The camera panning to this. Oh, it's her draw next. Okay, for a second I thought the cameraman decided that we wanted to
I
feel
think
really bad about the 5
she
card.
I think she was trying to decide whether to cheat or not. She kind of hesitated there. While she was Tenpai, she could cheat for a safe discard and
Mm.
keep Tenpai. So she was debating that, I think.
And that does
When
make
you're
sense.
Tenpai and you don't have a good chance at winning, but you only have 1 draw left. You risk drawing a tile that's dangerous to the reach. So if you have at least 1 safe tile in your hand, you can chi and then chi your winning tile and discard anything else to keep Tenpai and discard safely.
It does come at a very small cost, and that is that someone else is going to get another draw. And you have to always think about that, right? Who are you giving that extra draw to? Because if you're not drawing it yourself, someone else will.
Yeah, and
But
in that case, Izumi would have gotten the final draw because the final draw always goes to the south player unless somebody calls. And so if you chi, it's going to go to the west player. And she
yeah,
decided
choosing not
not
to do that
to give
play.
Izumi, yeah, the high day.
I think it's really interesting, like playing that kind of like those decisions are hard to make during a live game, but it's definitely something that these pros are going to be thinking about. And once again, we see yet another Cheetoy with Dora 2 from
Yeah,
Izumi.
2 chi toys even. Only Dora in one of them, but the other one looks like it might be a half flush. Not this one, but
Mm.
Sugano's hand. Half flush all pairs?
Yeah, that
Possibly, or
would be
she
very
could
nice.
own the red dragon and green dragon for a Mongon half flush.
And the thing about the at least the half flash, right, is it's we could still draw the 4 of bamboo. We could still make sequences out of it. It doesn't have to be 7 at this point. Obviously, with the 7 pairs Dora 2 we see here, you kind of has to be 7 pairs. But now we've got a triple of the 9 of bamboo. We don't have to do that 7 pairs hand. We can go for just a normal hand with the half flush.
Just realized that you can see me in the corner every time that Sugano draws right there.
Speaking of triplets, a triplet of the green dragon was just drawn. This might be another one of those situations where actually it's really nice to choose not to reach. Just sort of keep this hand nice and closed. And with the 4 of bamboo, that's Tempai, I believe, waiting on 5-8. I have to quickly check that again. For the closed half flush with the triplet of the green dragons. Let's check that hand again. It is 4-7. Okay. We do see all the 4s and 7s here, though. Locked away. But there's a 7.
And she didn't reach so that she could change the weight, also incorporate the red dragon. If she had got the red dragon, then with a reach, it could be Hanemon, but she'll take the manga on hand.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, look at me winning something. Ooh,
Yeah. Oh,
ooh, look at
congrats.
that.
But yeah, there's nothing wrong, I think, with the closed half flush with the dragon forehand. Nothing wrong with that. Unless I'm missing something. I would be more than happy to reach that. No, I'd be more than happy to dama that because reach bumping 4 to 5 is not as nice as say bumping 3 to 4 or 5 to 6. You don't get
I
as
mean,
much
she had
value out
a
of it.
really, yeah, there was a real option of bumping 5 to 6, so
Yeah,
it
with
made
the
sense
red
to not
dragon
reach.
draw as well. Yeah,
Yeah, and I mean, even I think there's even a sort of Sananko chance that she could switch to as
that's
well.
actually a really good point. Yeah, the weight would have been worse, but yeah, that'd be really exciting.
So lots
Although
of
we
things,
have
and she could play to the board. And Tezuka will pawn. She has 2 honor tiles now. East is her wind, and south is the prevailing wind.
we have a bit of a calling battle. Iinuma and Tezuka both calling. Iinuma who had this massive lead at the start of the game. It's sort of been slowly chipped away at. Now
Yeah,
she's got to try and re-secure that lead.
and she has no more dealer turns either.
It's
Her
very true.
team really needs that first place.
All she has to really do to keep it though is just make sure that no one else wins a big hand at this point. It's not. It's easier said than done, but it's not complicated, right? Just win. As long as you can win 3 hands, no one else gets to play, and you are done. You're out of this game in first place. Easier said than done, though. And Izumi getting a really nice draw there, keeping the 1 pin just in case there's a chance of the pure straight. But I
Yeah, I
do
think
believe
it's a
that's Tempai.
sticky one away now. She can stick to the 5 bamboo or the 1 dot. It sticks to the 1 dot, but it's not the one she wanted, and she'll let it go.
Makes sense. But yeah,
Now she
6-9
gets to.
of characters deals in to Iinuma. That's. I mean,
It's not
yeah, okay.
Tenpai. And
No,
now she gets the 2 dot, she'll be 310 for the
yeah.
369 shape, which is the shape that she wanted the most. So now she's probably hoping that it sticks to the 5 bamboo.
Otherwise, Sugano managing to get 1 away. As this has been a really interesting match in the sense we've seen a lot of Dharma hands, right? The 9 eventually comes, and so this is a cheap win, but it is going to help secure Inuma's lead. But it's been a really interesting match, and we've seen a lot of players sort of. We've seen both reach plays with very high value. We've seen lots of fast calling action. We've seen a lot of interesting Dharma plays. I love the variety we've managed to see today. It's not this, you know, we've had pairs hands, which is also something rare. It's been really interesting to watch so far. But this is Izumi's last dealership. She's currently in last place, but it is not by much. 1 hand can get her from last to first quite easily, and with a pair of the Souths in the South round, a cheap hand can be made, but a fast one, keeping that dealership.
Tezuka's going for something outside. I think she started with the 4 discard. Looking to go for an outside hand at the very least.
That is interesting. Because the hand doesn't look that close to it, right? But maybe
No, which I
I'm
think
the
is
one
why
who's.
if she goes for the outside hand, it's very easy to fold later. So you go for something with a bit more points, and then if you have to fold out, then you have all those honor tiles to fold with.
That does make a lot of sense. All right. So we have Iinuma, who's currently one away from Tenpai already. Not the greatest one away, but one away is still pretty nice. Yeah, speaking of trying to make value, Sugano, I think, is trying to build a half flush again. We'll see how that develops.
Well,
Okay, develops quite nicely.
Tezuka's
That
hand,
two bamboo draw is huge.
I might have even pushed harder outside and maybe gone for more of a kokushi thing.
Okay. Izumi actually, with those last two draws, has now got a chance of maybe even trying to build Sanshoku again. So it's not just a cheap hand. There's some value hidden there too. The 4-5, 4-5, 4-5. A lot of luck's going to need to be not a lot of luck's got a lot of things going to go the right way to make that work in the big win way. But I always love the idea of having that chance of a big win in the back of in the back pocket. Just pull it out when you need it.
Yeah.
Or it was played by Sugano. It's going to mean everyone else cuts theirs. And then we have this. Are you going to call the 9? No. Interesting.
And now
9
it's
being Dora.
not just an outside hand, it looks like a pure outside hand. Just has that south floating in there, and all the rest are sequences that include a 1 or a 9, and she has a pair of 1 bamboos as well.
Yeah.
But
I
Iinuma
might
will
have been
reach
tempted to call that
first.
9. After two people cut theirs, and it's the Dora, I might have been a little tempted, but we do have that reach.
Yeah, the only problem with calling with a pure outside hand is that you always end up either with a poor weight or a weight with one side you can't win on.
Yes, that is true. Unfortunately.
And I actually, in that case, prefer reaching to calling, I think. When you're reaching, you're the aggressor, and the other players may fold to you, but when you're just calling with it, generally it's really easy to read what your weight is, since you're
Yes.
so limited in your weights. And you can't change it. You don't have any tiles left to change it with, like, because you've called everything. So when your hand is shorter, it's a lot harder to fold.
It's really good advice. So I believe the reach only has one tile left to win on. I believe be a 4 of the bamboo there. It's 4-7, and I counted 7, which means that the reach isn't actually that likely to win, which means that we have a chance for this half flush that's been building up in those bamboo tiles. Maybe there's a window that this can sneak into tempo at the last minute. No, probably not anymore. Not after drawing the 2 and the 5 of characters. Unfortunate. But yes, I am also really excited about that outside hand. If you can get fully outside hand and you can get the Sanshoku 1, 2, 3 open, it's not quite as exciting, but it would be very, very cool to see if the next 2 draws were perfect. They were not perfect. Okay, never mind then. Oh wait, no, hang on, take it back. This is Tenpai. Could choose to wait on the south.
South locks in the Sanshoku shape and outside hand. It's a guaranteed mangan.
But needs that south to happen. I mean, I don't think we're likely to see the south come out at any point here. Like maybe it was once cut. Maybe that's
Yeah,
a trap I
normally
don't
it
fall
would come
into.
out pretty easily, but it does not look safe on this board.
Yeah. Especially when you think of players going for that potential half flush or anything like that. So we do end up having the Tenpai cut away from Tezuka, but I say to Tenpai, the Yaku has been cut away, so she can't run anymore. But she still has that Tenpai, and it's going to be paying out
And the
1,500
dealer
points.
Izumi was not Tenpai, so we will go into the last hand.
Iinuma can't quite breathe a sigh of relief yet, obviously, but getting a little bit further away from our last dealer. But the scores, Tezuka getting Tenpai, Sugano not getting Tenpai, 3,000 point swing. when
I
the
noticed in the background there I'm wearing the WRC uniform. Not our team uniform, but the actual World Reach Championship uniforms that were given to all the players. I did not play, but I was lucky enough to get a uniform. And so
that's
since we don't
awesome.
have our team uniforms yet for the Sankei Shimbun Cup, I decided that would be my team uniform yesterday.
You know what? That works. Hey, you're still part of Team WRC, so the WRC uniform makes sense.
I think so. It still has my name on it. It has the flag that I had on last year's uniform that I took off, but
Yeah, I'm liking the decisive action from Iinuma right now. She immediately called the South on the very first discard because she doesn't need a huge win. She just needs to make sure gets to beat her, overtake her. The absolute worst case scenario would be if Sugano manages to get a win or two. The game won't end if she does, of course. It keeps going until either the time that then finishes or she stops being dealer. But getting a nice cheap win and already one away from Tenpai for Iinuma. I have a feeling she might be closing this game out. Although Izumi also approaching Tenpai at a very fast rate.
yeah, for Iinuma, 1,000 point hand is worth like 50 points here.
Yeah. For Tezuka, I think it's worth 21, right? She managed to win 1,000 points
Uh,
with the Riichi stick. She'd
yeah,
gain.
with the Riichi six, yep, that's enough.
So we are seeing Tezuka also calling, going for that second place because that's 20 points. That's huge for her
Yeah,
team. We're seeing Izumi, unfortunately, just doesn't quite have the hand this time around. The draws have not come. Another little side grade for Iinuma.
let me see
Now
if
she
the
can
scores
cheat.
stay as they stand now, then it's going to start to head in the flatten out area. The first place team loses points, the last place team gains points.
Yes. But Tezuka could make a. I guess she's still technically losing points with the second. No, should we? Hang on. So yeah, second place would be
No,
gaining about
second place,
5.
yeah,
Yeah, it's not a huge win, but it's still pretty good for that team.
positive, positive. Positive is positive.
Positive is always positive, exactly.
Yeah. Sugano is kind of having a rough go. She's still 2 away. She has too many blocks. She has a call, but too many blocks. Right here.
Iinuma and Tezuka are
Now
both
she's gonna have to
senpai.
decide which one. She leaves the option open for pawns.
Yeah, Tezuka's just waiting on the 3 of dots, unfortunately. Not the greatest way. Iinuma's waiting on 3-6 of characters.
Yeah, 2, 3
But
dots. I see 3
oh,
of them locked up in other people's hands, and that it will be Tenpai for Sugano.
it was 1-4. It was, that's check again. The 1-4 pin. If so,
Doesn't.
then
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
those are being held, unfortunately, as the door indicator and in other players' hands. But with everyone Tempai, this could go again, unless someone is lucky enough to draw their winning tile. But it's only situations where I don't think anyone's going to back down. There is no real reason for anyone to give up on that. Oh, there's the 4, which deals in. I believe Sugano manages to keep her dealership and maybe. Hang on. Yeah, it's not enough to overtake. But
Very close.
yes. Oh no, a direct hit it is. Sorry,
Oh,
I
it's
didn't realize
for
it was a direct
Iinuma,
hit.
yeah.
So now
I don't know
Sugano
why I thought
is.
it was, yeah, it was hard to tell if it was Tezuka or Iinuma for a second, I think.
Yes, the
It
game is
was
not over.
Iinuma, so first place, that means that now Iinuma needs a 2,000 point hand base. Not quite 2,000, but easiest hand to make is 2,000 to overtake. To take it
Yes.
back, rather. Much more difficult conditions for Tezuka and Izumi now.
Yeah, this is a huge round for Sugano. But the thing is that the game's not over, right? Because even if you get into first place and all that, the game does not end. So, got to keep it going. And everyone does have a very interesting start here. Another potential outside hand, even for Izumi, but the pair of 8s of Bamboo we just drew makes that a little bit less likely. Do have that potential 7, 8, 9 mixturable sequence for Iinuma. Getting that close would definitely be enough. Getting it open with the door would also be perfectly fine, or potentially a outside hand if we can make 1, 2, 3 happen. But I would be, if I were Iinuma, thinking about that 7, 8, 9 mixture sequence, and then just mixture sequence with Adora. It's enough value. I don't need to overcomplicate this. Maybe the outside hand is also very valid.
If I'm Tezuka, I really want to go for that half flush. These pesky 9s getting in the way.
Yeah,
Seriously, those 9 dots.
I'm wondering about Sugano and the White Dragon. Because obviously she's in the lead, and obviously is she? I think that's her only pair right now. I was thinking maybe I might want to call her just to try and get even a small win, just to get a little bit further away from everyone else. But as that's her only pair, you might just see a reach. The pinfo, I like to call it. The fake pinfu.
So we love that term, pinfo. So Oklahoma, I dig this auto table and the tile colors. These are the pretty standard tile colors. I
Yeah, I think it
think
alternates
if you
between.
get the new Rex 3, you can get it's a lighter blue.
Yeah, I think the tile packs alternate between blue and yellow, I believe.
Yeah,
That's
that's the
what we.
general
Yeah,
color. This is the standard Rex 3. The newer one, or the upgraded one, actually turns the starting tiles face up when it does the automatic high pie. And those tile backs are a lighter blue than this. This is a darker blue.
so we have a lot of developments in the time we've spent. Iinuma is now Tenpai, and we now have a bit more of a push towards a half flash, I think, from Tezuka.
And also from Izumi just called for a half flush.
Everyone has their win con. They're working towards it. But we could just see this hand end at any moment if Iinuma manages to get 1 4-pin. I was talking about the potential mixture sequence, but didn't quite get there. It's pin Fudora 1, which is still more than good enough, but still. Also interesting that we have a 7 pairs hand. I wasn't even seeing that from Tezuka. And we're not going to be taking the risk and dealing in here. Honestly, if I were Tezuka, I'd be much more willing to push, I think. Is that a fault from her? Either way, though, the 4-pin was drawn by Iinuma. This game is over. Inuma's going to get her first place back in a very close battle at the very end there.
Close all the way to the end. Nobody was really far behind at all. And the Izumi was for a second, but she came back. And everyone
Yeah.
had really even realistic prospects at first place in the last 10 there.
I really enjoyed watching that game because we saw perfect opportunities to Dharma. There were some really good moments where you had that Mangan. Maybe if you could weave an extra hand, then you could reach but the 4-hand Mangan, you don't need to reach. It's fine. It's great. And we saw that twice from this table. I really enjoyed that match.
Right, and I think we have some starting standings for the WRC team group. WRC down in 3rd place when we started session 2. Maze Bar in 1st place, plus 57.8. Ground Queens 2nd, 14.5. And ML Stadium in last place with minus 62.9. Will that change today?
I mean, obviously, you were there. I'm trying to think, based entirely on your emotions at the time, you seemed pretty happy at some points and a little bit dejected at other points. I'd love to say that you just won that game. I'd love to say that.
You know how hard it has been to not tweet the results until after this broadcast?
To be fair, we
I've
have
been,
had people complain about accidentally spoiling things before, so yeah, you were doing good work keeping that that mental discipline.
I have the tweet lined up for after our video report in this broadcast. So just waiting and waiting and waiting.
You'll be able to see that between games 2 and 3.
Yes.
But in order to get there, we have to get game 2. And for game 2, I am passing the torch to, I believe, tipzntrix and Harrison.
Yes. We're passing 2 torches.
Whoa!
I'd like to avoid the burning if possible.
I've been
Yeah,
toughening
this
up
is-
my hands. I believe I can hold the
Yeah,
torch right
It's
on the
exact
fire.
opposite. People say my hands are like butter, and if I grab something too hot, it'll just melt away. I've been
Oh,
teased
no.
about it before many times.
Hot hands.
I didn't realize I was bringing up old traumas. I'm so sorry.
Welcome everyone to game 2. Those of you who are here, welcome me instead. Thank you. Those of you who are just joining for game 2, I hope you're excited because it sounds like we'll finally be releasing a pressure valve from Jenn and Chiral. She'll finally be able to tell all. But first, you're going to hear it from our mouths as we watch the game.
Yep, we got to.
There's a little bit of a preamble, right? There's a little bit of background information we need going into game 2, though.
Is there?
Like, who's playing?
Oh, well, of course who's playing. I thought you were talking about more than that. Okay, that who's playing, honestly, very reasonable, very understandable. And let me
If
tell
have
you,
more background information, hit us.
ooh, yeah. I listen, I would love to, but sadly all I got is what's in front of me. They called me the goldfish. Just it's in the brain and out the brain. So if it's not in front, nothing to be said. But we do have, again, some amazing players that are going to be starting off our second game. Again, same teams. We have Rina Ando starting in the pilot seat, representing Team Aokei. Then going on the south seat, we have Hatsune Osaki. She's going to be representing Team Hokkaido Mahjong Fan Meeting. Following in west seat is going to be Saori Oinuma. It's going to be representing Team Metajan Musume. Again, that real cool logo that Karo was talking about. And in north seat, finishing up is going to be Kaori Shimizu, representing Team Kokubun Press Industry.
I just want to jump in and let you know, Rina Ando is from JPML, Hatsune Osaki from NPM, Nihon Pro Mahjong Association, Saori Oinuma from SPM, Saikoisen, and Kaori Shimizu is the reigning champion for the JPML Women's League.
Oh, wow.
On last December. Yeah, so big names on this
So,
table.
yeah, this is going to be a star-studded game. It looks like we are in for a good one, Tips, let me tell you.
Yep, of course. Some of us who have been following Jenn and the Prost are familiar with Kaori. She is she's shared her wisdom with us before. It's very fun. And as you mentioned, the Metajan Musume, very interesting logo there. Very gamer focused, I would say, with those
Oh, yeah.
pixelated artwork.
They know exactly what they want and exactly what they're going for, and you just gotta respect it. Simple as
I
pie.
gotta say that when it comes to games, if you think about it like a game, all you gotta do is win. And if you want to play Mahjong, that's your main goal too. So if you just think about it straightforward,
See,
maybe
I feel
that's all
dumb
you
now.
need.
I forgot that part. I thought you were supposed to just turtle in the third. You know what? I'm gonna start doing that. I'm gonna start trying to win. I'm gonna put that in my games. You know what? I'm even gonna let's see if these players in this game are gonna be trying to win. Let's take a look. Let's jump right into it. Hopefully,
Right.
this is the right game.
Yeah, I noticed Kaori Shimizu in her picture. She didn't have her trademark pink highlights, her pink streaks that she has a lot now. But there they are.
Yep.
That's how you know it's no imposter. It's the woman's champion of JPML in the flesh. With her trademark pink bangs. Maybe those aren't bangs, but pink streaks.
I mean, yeah, it did highlights. I'm gonna be honest, you know, put me on the stake, not the best with what you actually call the parts of the of women's hair. I just know a lot of it looks good, and I'm like, that looks great. The roots, the highlights, all that. I'm like, I don't know. Either way, I
They're
start.
setting the dealer.
Yeah.
That's the thing with the auto tables. So many extra pieces you got to make sure they're all lined up properly. It seems like the dealer wasn't set off the beginning, so they set that up.
Yeah.
And immediately Kaori loses her turn to a pawn.
Yeah, Osaki calling the Haku pawn.
Right.
Just slamming it away, trying to get a quick win. And with the Dora too, very understandable. Just trying to lock that hand in, get that 52 in value, maybe even get a third 5-pin upgrade to a Mangan. Some other good hands on the table though. Dealer Ando looks pretty put together, although we do have a good Ishan 10 for Osaki.
Osaki's hand just got better.
Oinuma is looking like
those
a great
inside
hand.
draws, they change your outlook of the hand so much. Your hand feels slow, but as soon as you catch one of those inside tiles and the worst weight of your hand is fixed, all of a sudden it feels a lot faster. It's like a feeling of relief. It's like being saved. Tasuketa.
That's what it is. That's where we're going. Oh
yep.
boy! Oh.
When you draw the tile, it feels like a weight has been lifted off. You're like, oh, thank you. Because what can you really do? You're just drawing tiles hoping it would show up, and then sometimes it doesn't show up, and you have to Riichi waiting for it, which is always a nerve-biting experience, right? Because your weight is bad, but you're putting yourself at risk there. But maybe you can't win without it.
Ooh.
And so far, it looks like all the weights now are pretty good for our 4 players.
Yeah, everybody's kind of been able to shape up their hands. Interesting draw for Shimizu there. Earlier, she cut the 9M pair, but gets the 8P Onko. So now looking a little tricky, going headless. Can always drop the 8-pin later. But not going to commit to it right now. Right now, I'm just going to play it as an Onko. Look to pair up something else.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. You can see she does have that 2-4 pin, which is one of the bad weights that I was making an example of before. That's her only one left, but now she goes a lot of different ways. She can use it as the pair. And that's because she's using the 8-pin as an Onko. Triple inside. I thought that was a 3-pin for a sec. It's a 7-pin.
Pins, interesting though. Are you going to cut 2-4? Yep. I was going to say there are 3 9-pins out, so the 7 888 is not as strong as it usually is, but it's still very strong. You get every 6, every 7. You can keep the 4 to intake the 5 super easily.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, I think it's Tanya as long as it's not the 9-pin, yeah? Well, big thoughts. Out goes the floating 4.
Goes the 4. You can still draw the 5, wait on the 6. You don't have to just throw back any Dora.
Right.
9-pin does not get kept there for open Osaki. She could have played the 5-7-9 and the 5-6, but did not want to play the 9-pin.
This isn't Tenpai. Out goes the 7 even.
Ooh. Looks like Ando is going to find it first. I believe that is Riichi Pinfu.
Yeah, dealer Riichi no less.
Yeah, that'll be scary to the players.
To put the clamps on them.
Or Pandora indicator, not what you want to be drawing versus dealer reach when only a 3-pin is showing.
Yeah, the clamp, you really feel those dealer clamps now. 6 though, not really safe, but a little Suji, kind of Suji.
I mean, you get the 3-so on the lower side, and the 8 is earlier, so you could argue that it's unlikely to be a 7-8-8 cut.
Yeah, I mean the 8 was fairly recent, but it was
It's like
good
fake
analysis.
Nakatsuki.
In this case, it works out.
Yeah. And that 4-pin is dangerous. I mean, Shimizu's going to have to figure out a way to play it. This was able to get people to back off a little bit from their hands. We still have Oinuma, Ishanten.
Yeah, but
As
Oinuma
well
also
as...
deals in with 1 pin, right?
Oh, Shimizu might deal in here. We have Tenpai. Both sides are Furiten, actually. And Shimizu just throws it right
Tosses
back.
it
Doesn't want to
back.
fight. Great recognition.
So all that's left is either Oinuma or Shimizu gets a scary tile again and decides to push the 4.
Mm-hmm.
This 6 pin is also kind of bad. Yeah, it looks like Oinuma's out as well.
Well, Oinuma, Mawashing, kind of a Mawashi for now, throwing the 1 impair. Not totally out, but definitely going to struggle to get back into Tenpai.
Shimizu taking a Ishanten, a 1 away that does allow her to use that 4 pin. There aren't many tiles left, but certain tiles will get her there. Not this one. Still about 8 tiles left in the wall. 2 draws for each player.
Ooh, pawn 6. We're going to take Tenpai Furiten on the 4-pin. Shimizu trying to pick up those points. Get a little bit going into the end of this round. What's the Haite tile? 8-pin. Not going to be able to find Tenpai. Okay, 4-7. So this is a scary Suji. And Shimizu's really
Shimizu found
tanking.
Tenpai with the call.
She's tanking whether 4-pin or 4-7 so is throwable. Both are really bad. Both are just terrible
Does
on
she
this
have
board.
safe tiles? She does have safe tiles if she goes into Manzu.
It's purely whether she can play and get Tenpai. Can she drop 4-7 so or 4-pin? And she's really thinking. I would assume she's thinking about the 7 so. With all the 3s and the 8, but she does not like it, decides to fold away. And the 4 so is going to get
right
revealed. That's tough.
Oh, well. But
Happens.
you have to make the best decision with the information you have.
She did. I mean, she recognized the danger. 4-pin was like a deal in. 4-pin was bad.
Yeah. Although we noticed Kokubun press in third place overall in this group right now.
Mm-hmm.
It is really early.
It's a lot of game. It's session 2.
Right.
We're in East 1. Just playing good mahjong, right? We're 3K back. That's all we're focused on. That's the big thing.
I think it's always weighing in my head, the total score. But it's true that it is early.
I've found that I think the more you play, especially in like tournaments and stuff, people really underestimate. At least I've noticed in the US how long you have to really scrape back together. Like it's really easy to just say, "Oh no, I'm behind. I really need to catch up. Like I have no time left," and dig yourself a deeper hole. But like a lot of the time, I feel like until the last game or two, as long as you're playing good and solid and making good decisions, you'll find it. Speaking of that, we have a call from Shimizu with the Haku pawn, has a south pair too. A lot of Pinzu may get towards a Honitsu. A lot of distance to go to get there, but that would be the most value for that hand, especially now that it's open.
Yeah, I wonder if 7 pairs is going to show up around there somewhere.
I could see that from dealer Ando.
Yes.
I mean, we have 2 5-sos, 2 of the Dora, and our shape around it is a little clunky if we're playing it as 2 melds. So might find Chitoi. I think it was 4 pairs in the hand, so not even that far off.
Osaki finds a 3rd pair here, but her runs in the Manzu, the 3-4-5, 4-5-6 look a lot better.
Ando,
here's a call.
Beast mode, toy call. Calls the 7, says Chitoi, this is not. I'm calling it down.
Might just end up being Tanyao, but with the extra Dora, it'll still be good value, especially as dealer.
Oh yeah. Very easy way to play both Dora now. So just
and if she gets Toy, it'll be worth even more. Beautiful.
Yeah, a little
Toy being the all triplets hand.
Ooh, 3rd.
Triple 9s.
Iinuma. lot of Fu, the Fu builder. Not going to be able to close con that 9. So not able to get the fake con. But we'll see. You see 6-0 drawn as well for dealer Ando. May decide to throw Dora for Tenpai. 2M con. The
All
pawn
across the
happened.
table.
Oh,
No
we're playing
Tenpai.
both. We're playing
Keep
both.
Dora.
We want it.
Yeah,
Both
I mean, this
Dora.
still keeps all triplets as a possible option.
That's true. It's going to be
So
really
a
hard.
lot of value.
Yeah.
Way more value going down this route than going for the quick Tanya Dora 1 Tenpai.
We also had an Ishanten
And
from Oinuma.
it's not a bad decision here. Seems like the correct decision. She's going to make the chi though.
Yep. I mean, when
It's
it's
big
there,
enough.
big enough. People,
Yeah, and now she is Tenpai.
yeah, people might not read that you're around Dora again too, because you've already called 2 shapes kind of right around the Dora. The 7-5 cut is weird, so people might think, you know, maybe there is another one around that way, but
Right. Yeah, well, Ando gets rid of the 8 so very quickly without revealing that the rest of her hand is near that.
I mean, 3
Don't want to
sevens.
make, yeah,
You
you don't
know,
want to make that mistake.
not using the 8 with 3 sevens.
And there it is again. Out it goes again.
Ooh, 5th pair.
Yeah, I
Osaki
was
has
not
some
expecting
decisions.
Osaki to have 7 pairs, but it looks like that's where she's going.
No, she's gonna play 5-10. Yeah, I mean, dealer's 3 calls open. Your hand shape's not that great. You're closer to Cheatoid than anything else. It's kind of just what you're playing, you know.
Yeah, element of safety to it.
I will say this 4-7 weight for dealer Ando is not looking too good. Oinuma can play a 4-7 set. I believe there's no Shimizu doesn't have one called, but I mean, Ando sees 5 of them out, 3 sevens and 2 4s.
Yep.
So there's
As you
only 3
mentioned,
left, and every player can kind of play the 4, with some being able to play the 7 as well.
right. That's the downside of having already made so many calls in that area.
Yeah.
There's just simply not as many tiles for you to get.
Oh, 4-pin, still Ishanten.
Yeah, because she deleted one of her pairs. Well, discarded it. She cut the pair of 1 so earlier.
Ooh,
4-7 Mon now for Shimizu.
yeah.
Which 4-7 will appear first? A lot of tiles still in the wall, but a lot of these winning tiles are in other players' hands.
Yeah.
However, I still think that one might
4M.
come out.
Get rid of new
Whoa!
nines.
Oinuma avoids, but Shimizu draws it. So those are 2 Formon back to back in the wall, top and bottom on the wall. Finds the win there. Small win, but it advances the dealer.
Yeah, not a bad pickup for Shimizu, able to even out the board, go toe-to-toe with Ando as we go into East 2.
You know, I can't tell whether it was just a trick of the camera, but it looked like Shimizu was bouncing in her chair a little bit on that win.
You think so? You don't think the camera's just bouncy? You think Shimizu was just so excited?
That's what I
If
said.
the
Usually these
Haku
cameras have stabilizers on them. So I could have sworn I saw her bouncing a little bit on that one. We'll see. As we move into East 2. No call on the South for Ando. It is not her win, so makes sense. No Yaku there. Out comes the East. That's everyone's win, but no one has a pair to call that, so that also goes through. But that's a pretty early discard of East for Oinuma.
Yeah, a lot of
Her hand
players.
doesn't look too amazing yet, but it is the worst tile in her hand, so she's just going straight ahead.
Yeah, prioritizing max efficiency as dealer, even with the 2 Han East being available, it's just, especially with a hand that far back, you want to play maximum Tenpai tiles, right? Or at least keep a lot of these extra toy or Tanya ones. Although throws the 5-pin and keeps the West, maybe as a safe tile.
I wonder what Osaki's up to here.
Oh, but perfect
That looked like a
reach.
Riichi. It is a Riichi.
Yeah, Shimizu for each
What
Pinfu
a
Dora
crazy hand.
1.
I think she
Reach
might have
Pinfu
a full
E2
straight
Dora
there.
1, yeah.
Yeah.
So minimum, what is that? Mangan, Sumo, or Uradora is Haneman, I believe.
Yeah. And that is on turn 4. Turn 4 Riichi with a Haneman Sumo.
Oof. Premium too on the 1/4. It's going to be a little bit awkward being around the Dora, but
Right.
I mean, it's not like one
But
mon's going to get easier to play, right?
a huge twist of fate here for Shimizu. Of course, she hasn't won. You can't count your chickens before they've hatched, but it's looking pretty good so far.
Farman. Saki's going to tank it. Decides to throw 9M. It passes. And we have our 4th pair. Oinuma's doing a little bit of thinking. Humoring the
Always when
idea
you're
of
playing
pairs.
defense,
Yeah.
7 pairs kind of shows up in between your save tiles if you're lucky.
The problem
Oh.
is, like, Oinuma didn't even really have safe tiles. Like, it's not like Oinuma had an option to play something to fold. So it
Right.
was, if I can't fold, then why don't I just, make the hand do its thing?
Yeah. So a number of the 1/4 are in other players' hands now, but there's still about 2 or 3 in the wall.
Yep, there's 3 1Ms, 2 in a player's hand, 1 on the board, as well as 2 4Ms, I believe, in Osaki's hands. So there's still, what is that? 3.
Yeah, that should leave 3 in the wall.
Yeah, 2 4s, 1 1.
Right.
It's not terrible, but it's not the best. It's definitely not the spot you want to be. And there goes
Oh,
one of
there
the
goes one of the
4s.
4s.
1 and 1, 1 1M, 1 4M. All that's remaining. The other players have been backing off though, so.
Oh, there goes the last 1/1. No, but Ando's
Ooh.
still backing off, yeah.
Ando, yeah, Ando doesn't like the 3P versus that
Ooh,
Riichi.
this might bait the 4-mon out of Osaki's hand though, especially because she's the dealer. Might be convinced to fight
No,
this Riichi.
you would do 5M, almost certainly.
Hmm.
Oh my god, Anko redraw. What an insane draw for Ando.
Yeah, I wonder if she'll be convinced to discard any of her tiles.
Yeah, probably call for
Potentially the
5M.
winning ones.
4-1.
Not super likely
Super
that she
bad.
cuts
Ooh.
Sanzo Kan, the legendary power-up maneuver.
How comfortable do you feel with 3-pin? 3 6-pin and 4 1-mon are 2 of the scarier Sujis. Really 3 6-0 at this point.
No Kan here.
Gonna check the 3 passes. Yeah,
Use
she
it
doesn't like
as a
it.
safe tile. Now she has 3 more safe tiles. Just like that. Oh, another triplet.
6P Anka. That doesn't really help Oinuma though. Oinuma's really looking for pairs.
That's right. Don't know if she's going to be able to make it through to the end, though.
Oh, another Anko? Hold on. Ishanten for Oinuma? Has a chance. One more draw. We have
Tenpai!
Tenpai on 2-mon.
Yeah, she has the
Oh, and we're
Dora
gonna
in
send
hand,
it.
so she's
Okay.
going to reach you. That 3-mon there has just
2
been
3-mon.
sitting. 2 3-mon. She could get another Dora for the win. I don't think there's
I
many
think it's
left, though,
dead.
of 2 and 3. Yeah. Unless
There
Oinuma
is
drops it right here.
0.0% chance that Oinuma drops that.
She was Tenpai.
Yeah, and she said there's no way I drop Adora into this fresh Riichi
Against
in the
2
previous one.
Riichis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Osaki breaks the hand as dealer.
Oh, maybe she finds Tenpai?
Nah. As
No,
last draw.
we're out of tiles. So a
Two-player
little
Ando
unfortunate there
Shimizu.
for Shimizu. She had that insanely fast hand out of the gate, but nobody dealt in, and the tiles all went to the other players. She did have a number of winning tiles. One of them seemed to be in the dead wall there. I think we didn't see the last 4-mon.
Mm-hmm.
Next time, perhaps. Shimizu tied for the lead right now. Oinuma in the dealer position. 2 players at 26,900, 2 players at 22,100. Fairly balanced game going into East 3.
That's what I was gonna say. A very
Sanzo is
symmetric
the
table.
Dora.
Got even Stevens, 2 pairs. Everybody's still within
Right.
just 5K of each other. Although there's some quick hands looking on the board.
Yeah, but we don't see much of the Dora. So value not quite there yet.
There's
There's the
not quite
first
there.
one.
There's 2,300 in the middle of the
Oh,
board,
here's
brother.
2. Oh, that's fair.
There's
That's
value already
something.
there.
I actually missed Ando's Dora the first time around. She actually has 2 of them. So actually most of the Dora are gone. That's my mistake. There's 3 of them out now. After Shimizu's draw, and Shimizu can use her Dora with her Forso as well. 9 so not being used.
Ooh, 8M. You can stick that by the rest of your shape. Osaki decides to cut
Can't
1M.
hate it. Pair again. That's pair 5. Yeah, so Oinuma's gonna go down that 7 pairs
Old
route.
G-Toy, yeah, trying to bait that 2-pin later, potentially.
Right.
Set up the Suji trap.
We'll see just how obvious her discards are. Well, 1, 2, 3's kept though. Could have a Suji trap set up on either the 5 with the 2-pin or the 6 with the 3-pin.
M draw, not going to do too much. But we're able to switch our shape a little bit. Ooh, and was that Hatsu pair I just spotted for Ando?
You know what makes me think Shimizu is bouncing on that win?
How's that?
She has that superstitious flourish every time she draws the tile. She's feeling it with her hand, her thumb first, the mulpai, to see what it is, and she holds it a little bit longer than most of the other players.
She just wants to
Just to see
really
what's
feel it,
coming.
really
Yeah.
just test, vibe it out. We also see a
See?
break there from
There it
dealer
is.
Oinuma. Decides to go against the Chi-Toy, play the normal Ishanten shape.
Well, open.
Ooh.
Well, only 1 Dora, so not that high value, but it will advance the game forward.
Hey,
We're
2K, 2,300 in the middle. Again, 3 on hands, practically.
The razor thin margins here.
We're gonna see a
Very aggressive, almost like a race car style of play. She's 1 away. So is Ando. Ando's hand could end up being very scary with the Dora 2 7 pairs. Oinuma ended up not really going 7 pairs in the end. This is a slight hand improvement, but she could get rid of this. Yep, she gets rid of the safe white dragon to go full efficiency, but no safety. In trouble if Ando gets to Riichi or if Oinuma gets to Riichi, and they're both getting very close.
Osaki hits a little bit of an upgrade on the Ryanman.
And that is the first Riichi, dealer's reach. Shimizu not scared though, just throws the 4-so off the 7-so, and it does not deal in. Now she's Tenpai. Out goes another 7-so. That's safe to the Riichi. This is not Tenpai. A little unfortunate for Osaki here.
But a lot of Mawashi options with that one. Yeah, you get to play north.
Cuts a reasonably safe tile. Although that north does have a higher than usual chance of dealing in on this board. But it didn't, so she's okay this time.
9 so now we're gonna get tested a little bit. Do we like it? I mean, could also
tougher.
throw 9 pin, not lose too much.
She's going. She's not the dealer. It's interesting. She's willing to fight it out. Shimizu doesn't really like her options, but kind of stuck with 2 open calls.
Yeah, she had a little bit of hesitation on the 9
Ooh,
pin.
doesn't take the tempai. Really looking for that Dora 3 so. And there it is, but she can't call it because she's not tempai. Shimizu keeps pushing. Still safe. No pwn here from Ando. She finds another pair for her patience. That's pair 5, but she breaks a pair anyway. The Dora pair even, so it looks like she's really out. No chi either from Osaki, so she's not even looking for tempai. Everyone just dodging Oinuma's dealer reach and maybe Shimizu's hand. With 3 Dora already out on the table. Oh, she calls it this time. Now she wants tempai. Risks East. I think East is fairly safe.
Yeah, East is 2 out,
Maybe.
so East should pass.
Where are these 2-5s so? A lot of Doras came out. Obviously, one of the 2 so is the indicator. There's a 5 so.
And it's gonna get played. Gonna try it for tempai.
Yeah, it's safe to the Riichi player, so it looks pretty reasonable, but I guess to be fair, Shimizu pushed a lot of dangerous tiles. She has 2 open calls. But considering how many Dora ended up being released onto the table and the fact that we're not playing with red 5s, I think most people expected it wouldn't be worth that much if she won. Which isn't exactly true, because as you mentioned, 2300 was on the table, but it's they didn't have to pay that much.
Yeah, but 53 going to Shimizu. Very good hands.
Yes.
Super duper valuable.
Took the risks and got paid off on this one.
Ooh, I was wondering if Ando there was going to opt to a more aggressive Honitsu route for the Pinzu. Maybe drop that hanging 5M or one of the Sozu, but just decides to stay efficient for right now. Get rid of an honor.
Yeah, I mean, the 9 pin is in that suit, which does make it a little more enticing to go for it, but you're right.
It's a
She's
little
not
far.
doing it.
It's a little far away, so it makes sense, you know. Hedge your bets for right now. Keep your good shape. You already got a Dora locked and loaded. Although now with that 5 pin,
Oinuma might also be fighting for those Pinzu tiles. Oh, doesn't call this one. Just lets it through. There was a reasonable chance of using the 4-6 there. She has them on 2
but
different
with
shapes in her hand.
the West pair and like all the other things, it's just too far away in hand, I think. A little too
I mean, the
aggressive.
West pair can be used in the half flush.
Yeah, but again, you're looking at like 5 for 4, 3 or 4 away after that call. So it's just a little too clunky.
I don't know. There's another Dora. There's a Dora for Oinuma. Maybe she would call it now. Maybe she passed it before.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when are you going to get a chance to get the 5 pin?
I mean, you can
It's one of
always
those
draw it.
really high risk. Yeah, you're going to have to draw it.
Think here for Osaki, and she decides, goes Sozu Honitsu.
Another Dora. Out comes the 7 pin. Oinuma not tempai yet, so that gets to go through. We have dueling Honitsus. Sozu versus Pinzu. It's like you're playing 3 play. It's like Sanma tiles.
Yeah, just disregarding it. We also see a shape upgrade for Ando there.
Out comes 6 pin. It is called this time.
Yeah, with 2 Dora securing the Mangan Honitsu seems very, very worth it.
Oinuma's a lot further ahead, but she gives back a tile that Osaki can use. That does give her another draw, though, so she's the benefactor more so. 5 pin, that's not coming out anymore from Shimizu, even though she's dealer. Maybe if she gets tempo. What a huge draw!
Oh,
no Riichi.
Dama, Sanshoku Dora.
That's only 3 Han, though, huh?
52? Not bad. Has some
Just
better
wondering if it
weights.
was worth,
Furry
if it was
10
worth a
ones, though.
Riichi.
That one would be so nasty.
But I suppose she
Not
doesn't
furry
like the
10.
1 pin weight.
Yeah, it's a little weird. She probably doesn't have confidence in it coming out, or once it like with the Riichi signal, like even if 4 pin gets on the board, you assume that 1 pin's dangerous to the Honitsu player, so it's just a bit weird.
Okay, 6-9 pin is the weight here, but with A bunch of 6 pins pwned. It's a difficult weight. Another 9 pin on the board, and it's Dora.
Another 9 in
Very
hand.
difficult weight.
Yeah. Feels like a recipe just to never come.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, threatening Tenpai, people are going to start drawing these 1 pins.
Here's a
They're
1
going
pin!
weird.
There's a 1 pin! Ah, there it goes!
Oh, Shimizu tries
What a sneak attack. What a sneak attack from Ando. Washi no ippin! That 1 pin is the crux of so many plot lines, so many storylines. Because it's the easiest tile to see, I feel like.
It's the wheel.
It's
the big tire
the
tile.
wheel.
Yeah.
The wheel of fate. And Ando scores big with that one. Not as big as if she had Riichi'd, but then it might not have come.
Yeah, and I mean,
She's in the
Ando
lead.
direct hits Shimizu, yeah, so it's worth a
Yeah, big
lot.
hit.
Gets the full swing, basically swaps 1 for 1, gives herself a little bit of breathing room heading into South. Win
But
rate
you're
play
right, it's
looking
only
good.
a little bit. It's only a little bit of breathing room. Oh, another half flush, another Honitsu coming out.
Not necessarily. Ando's
Will we see?
dealer. Still some efficiency to be thought about. We'll try
Oh,
it. Although,
nah,
I think you're
Shimizu's
right about
calling
Shimizu.
it.
Yep.
Oh,
and with that Haku pair, we might actually see Ando call down the whole Nitsu too.
yeah,
Especially if
Shimizu's
Haku
playing
gets offered.
a very aggressive open style.
A 1 pin pair, that'll help. Even have a toy route to boot. We had a tank there, and we decided, yep, Ando's going full Honitsu. We're going to keep that floating north for now.
With that 5 pin, it's probably going to destroy the dream of having 3 different flush colors fighting each other at the table. Yeah, I don't think Osaki's going to be representing Sozu here.
Osaki's
but we almost had it.
Far.
We almost had it if she had drawn a few other tiles.
Oh, the ultimate chaos round? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, the 3-way battle, everyone representing their own suit. And then the 4th player just really trying hard to survive.
4th player is like, I'll play all 3. I'm using
they can win.
suit.
They can win with like Sanshoku or something. Yeah, Oinuma is not completely out. Like she actually does have a Sanshoku, like a 4-5-6 mixed triple that she can make here.
That was a really interesting cut. Who was that? I believe that was Oinuma, who had the 4-6 mon. Or no, yeah, Oinuma had 4-6 mon, drew 3 mon, and discarded 3 mon. But I guess her idea is just getting rid of all the Manzu right now.
Yeah, we just saw something very similar.
Oh, and pawn on 4, so we're gonna take Tenpai.
Is that Toy? Oh, yeah. It is huge hand.
Onitu, Hatsu, still just Mangan. Has not found the 6 Han, no Aka, so won't get any help or any weird switches. But Mangan's Mangan, 1 pin 2, pretty strong.
Yep, and that 7 pin, right? Ando's stuck now.
I mean, Ando dropped what was it, 1M? So I think Ando
earlier.
Or yeah, 1 mon. So realizes that 7 pin is bad and says, you know what? We'll work that into the hand. We'll take our time. Yeah, we might even see Oinuma just back up.
Ooh, one of the Khan tiles knocked over. Khan! Well, luckily it wasn't the Rinchan tile that was knocked over. But it's the 3rd one, and you know, Shimizu might actually be able to make 3 Khans in this hand. So she knows what her 3rd Khan tile is if we need to get there. I guess, fortunately for us watching, it is not, or was it? It was a 4 pin, right? So it's not one of her winning tiles.
I don't know, but there is a reach there on 4, 6, 7 pin.
Especially right after the Khan.
Yeah, so I guess really just 6, 7 pin
is what she used. Shimizu used the 4 pin to make a Khan, and she's just pushing. Not much room here. Osaki trying to find her winning tile. 4, 6, and 7 pin all win. If Shimizu ever goes off the 7-pin for like a better weight, maybe an open-ended like a Ryanmen or something, it's gonna deal in. But then again, if she draws the 6-pin, that would also deal in. So can't really win there.
Oinuma really tanking here, trying to figure out what the right discard is. Says
Yeah,
North
you're
should be
facing a lot
good.
of trouble. 2-pin goes through. Shimizu didn't even think about using 1 pin as a slightly safer tile. Oh, she's 30-10. That would explain it, yeah. If she had gone for 3-pin lead.
Yeah, would not be very good. Would definitely create a little bit of a problem.
And also lose all triplets. So it's
Yeah.
probably not even worth the value loss just for slight safety. Because it's not even like 1 pin is a safe tile. It's only marginally safer. That's the wrong 7.
Not gonna get found. We keep pushing tiles.
Yeah, it still looks
Shimizu's
to be
pushing
about
ahead.
10 tiles in the wall, so definitely room for any of our players to win.
6-7 is pretty dead. I think there's 1-7 left in the wall.
Yeah, and the 4-pin are conned.
1 pin, exactly, yeah. So, but I think 1 pin, actually, both are still in the wall.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So that might be the tile that does it. Not this go
Down to
about,
the
though.
end here, about 6 tiles left. 1 less because of the con, so like 5 tiles?
No, I think it's even less than that. I think it's last go around. Yep.
Oh,
1 pin comes out from the Riichi. Osaki ends up dealing it direct to Shimizu. Pays the
Mangan collection.
Whew. Wait, Hanemon?
Oh,
what?
no, Hanemon.
Toy
That would be missed.
Toy.
Was that Hote? Maybe that was the last one. You
Oh,
were
yes,
talking
that
about
was
the last
Hote.
tile.
Yes, that was Hote, I think. It must have been.
12K Hote.
Oof.
The extra 4,000 points are gonna come in handy here.
That's gonna be a big deal. Yeah, Ando's off dealership, but 1K hand win, and all of a sudden Ando cannot Mangan. Or oh wait, hold on.
Oh, was it not
Was it
Hote?
not Hote? Was Harrison right? Oh,
Return 4,000 points. No, it was Hote. Confirmation.
points.
Maybe they're asking something else. Can't even hear.
Oh,
it looked
no,
like
it's
she was
production thought it was wrong, maybe? I think production thought it was wrong. Because the scores do not line up.
Why was it 12,000?
No, I think production thought it was Hanemon, but it wasn't. Because the scores do not line up. So I think we had it correct, or I think production thought that there was that was Hote when it was not. Or they were like, oh, it's just surely that's got to be Hanemon, which we've all done as players, and been like, surely that's Hanemon. And it's like, nope, you're just a 5.
There.
There's a con. They're like, the food's got to get me there somehow. I don't care about this, 5 Han business. Oh wow, what a hand there!
We're not playing Altenjo here.
Oinuma, great hand too. This looks like it's gonna be a dogfight round. Everybody's hands are looking pretty good.
Yeah, and where's the value though?
That's what Riichi is for. Riichi, and then you do some shenanigans and
pairs or not pairs. That is the question. Not pairs.
Playing the normal hands.
Whoa, Dora. This could go pairs route with Dora, but the fact that there's 2
you are tweaking, pal. Ain't no way. There was an interesting Chanta. Like I almost wonder if Forso is something you might do, but it looks like Shimizu decided to play more towards the Honitsu and is gonna
when in doubt, play the half flush.
Yeah.
Is she gonna do it all the way? Half flush again.
If you're cutting 7M there, you're always playing half flush. I think.
Well, that was Oinuma though. That was Oinuma's the one with the half flush. Yeah.
Yes, Oinuma. Yeah, with the committal with the 8/8.
She actually has all 3 dragons now, but because 2 white dragons are on the table, on the max you can get is the little 3 dragons.
Hey, Shosanga 2 Han. Technically 4 Han with the double Yakuhai call. It's worth value.
Yeah, so
Does
she is
its
holding
thing.
on to it still. Maybe. It might happen.
If you pair it up, you know, get a green, get a red, you're there. You're
That's right.
feeling good. You're liking what you're seeing. But the problem is everybody else is knocking on Tenpai's
There's a
door.
green. Osaki in trouble. Out it goes. Call. East out, so white's still in hand for the chance. The one opportunity. Red does not go out though. Shimizu's trapping that red in hand. That's gonna make things a lot tougher for Oinuma.
Yeah, Shimizu doesn't like with the 2 calls and no red on the board, pushing that.
Yep. There is still another one left though. Somewhere out there. The last white! Even that's not being released. Wonder if she's using it as a safe tile or
I'd
actually
imagine.
afraid of it. The sneaky white. Wait.
Well,
Oh, out
now
it
it's a safe tile.
goes. Yep,
Now
now
it's
it is.
definitely one.
So now she'll keep it. It's definitely a safe tile, as mentioned. That is not a
Ishanten
pair.
still. Thinking about it, has some options. Maybe the 5-5M. Yep. Plays it that way. Cuts one is
2-4
going to suit the next
sticks.
draw. As
Nope.
Sanmechan draws.
No 2-4-6.
Them coming out. That Shun still not getting played. It looks like Shimizu's just kind of bricking her hand. Realizes she's
Yes.
got a lot of important pieces and wants to prioritize just not giving it to other people.
Yeah, I think when she drew that red dragon, she said, oh, it's
Ooh.
over. It's over with the red dragon.
1M tank. There were a couple options Oinuma had.
Ooh, going
Decided
for the
against it.
off, the strange tempai. But it's the difference between 4 and 5 Han, so it makes sense that Oinuma goes for the trickier weight. 7 so is still not that great of a weight here, though.
Yeah, I think just realizes that the players like recognize how dangerous 5 is, or how dangerous the tune
The
is.
Yeah, the red dragon.
Yeah,
Yep.
and senses maybe there's
Another
more
5.
7s
That's
to be
not gonna
gotten.
help. Another 5, she could have taken 1 Ishan 10 and tried to fish out an open-ended weight,
But
maybe, but it's kind of late in the
this
hand.
late you can't do it. Your Mangon
Yeah,
Tenpai, it just doesn't make sense.
just give me the 7 so that's all for Oinuma here. Just needs a 7 so.
God, Ando here really struggling to hit Tenpai. Same for dealer Osaki.
3, 4, 5. Gonna keep the 9. It is Dora. And this last 7 so is here in Shimizu's hand. So all 4 7 so are in other players' hands. None left in the wall.
6 draws left. What am we gonna do with them? I know a little bit more than 6, 8 draws left, I believe. Now 6 draws left. One more try to hit Tenpai for dealer Osaki. 7's definitely not going to come out, but are we going to help our dealer out? Ando says nope, and oh, that was it. I miscounted. Whoops. So it looks like only player in Tenpai is going to be Oinuma.
We're going to move to South 3. Game advancing super quickly here.
Yeah, really quick. Everybody is more than willing to give up their dealership to avoid danger on the board. And I mean, you can't really blame them. There have been some giant hands being played fast and
Yeah.
open.
I'm sure Osaki wanted her dealership there, though.
I mean, Osaki was trying. She just couldn't find the Tenpai
Right.
tiles. Had that Ishanten for so long and just
Exactly.
couldn't fill it out.
I think Oinuma actually has a little bit of a pink streak in her hair, too.
Maybe that's the lucky color.
Yeah.
One pin coming out. 4 pairs.
Back
Saki is going to cut
so
the 7.
fast. So fast.
likes that route. We have a lot of Pinzu being drawn for dealer Oinuma. May opt for a Honitsu down the line. In great shape for Ando. That is looking like a nice Pinfu
Yeah, one
Ipeko
away.
chance.
That's also very fast. Even faster than the pairs that I was talking about earlier.
Ooh, 7p there for dealer Oinuma. Or excuse me, not for Oinuma, for Osaki. Would have assumed maybe 5 Oh, 5 Dora. Never mind. So we're going Chitoi on Dora 2. That is our plan. Fair enough. 4-pin, we could cut maybe 2 so. Okay, we'll try the Haku too. Feel the board out a little bit for Oinuma. See if anybody calls it. Get some info. Perfect Ishanten. We can even call the South for Ando. Not the most valuable, but on a Riichi, could find something nice.
Is there something nice to be found? That's the question we always ask the wall.
If you're sitting on the Mahjong board, the answer is no. If you're on the Mahjong table, the answer is no. The wall only punishes and plays.
Then how do you
nasty little
explain all
tricks.
the Baimon and Hanemon?
Because they were against people who deserve to be punished more in this cruel world.
Whoa!
And speaking of Riichi,
why don't you explain that one? Deniers.
well, Riichi for Riichi Dora 1, possible Ipeko on, I believe, 8-pin.
This is
5
a
8-pin
nice,
weight.
and it's actually convincing the dealer to get out. Oinuma does not want any part of this.
Ipatsuma on the Ipeko. Okay, and Dora 2, we're at Hanemon. Whoa!
This could not have gone any better. Is this actually Baimon?
No, Hanemon.
No, it's
Riichi
it's
Patsumo,
Paracelsus.
Ipeku, Dora 2.
Yeah,
Just
because
Hane.
no Pinfu, because the pair of cells.
Yes. If it was a different pair, it would have hit Baimon. You just have to hit Ipatsumo and Ura2 and hit the Ipeko side, folks. That easy. Just that easy.
And
I'm going to be honest.
very
Shimizu's
easy.
going to have a little bit of work cut out for her now. Was looking super good. And now over 10K behind Ando. One dealer Mangan direct will put her in the lead. The problem is this has been a very quick game, and Shimizu needs to figure out how to get off dealer and be in first place. So, little bit of a conflicting thing. We'll have to see. She definitely needs to win a hand, probably 2 hands at least before
this
she
hand
can
is a
start
good
thinking about folding
start.
out.
Definitely has Mangan potential in it.
Oh my god.
With
Oh,
the
that's
Riichi.
Osaki's hand.
Yeah,
Although,
Osaki's hand is okay.
Osaki's going to
Oinuma's
try to
hand's kinda
Kyakuten, so yeah.
But here it is. Shimizu's hand, very quick. Has some potential for Mangan. It's not quite there yet, but Riichi could make it happen. This is actually Tenpai. Osaki. No Riichi.
No, Osaki needs more
She needs
value.
more.
She's probably going to wait for the Sanshoku upgrade and then think about Riichi. Do like Riichi non-Sanshoku. Although I think the hand's kind of capped there. I don't really think you can take that much higher as Osaki. Maybe even just going to try and like snipe somebody to keep the scores somewhat where they're at. That's another thought, because it's not the worst end game for Osaki.
3, 4, 5, 6 does not want
the 3, 4, 5. The 3, 4, 5s or the 2, 3, 4 are the only Sanshoku opportunities. 7 so, not quite Tenpai. Shimizu's going to tank over it. Sides 4 so is the way to drop. 5 Mangan, Ando. Cleaning up the hand bit by bit. We have a hanging Dora. What are we going to do? We could drop 2 Mon. Oh, we're even going to drop 5 Mon. Try to fish for our Riichi non-Sanshoku Dora 2. Yeah, 2, 3, 4 Sanshoku and Dora 2. It'd be Hane. It'd be, kind of exactly what Osaki needs.
Shimizu had a bit of a punctuated discard there, but she's not actually Tenpai yet. gonna completely ignore that pair of two mon and really try and lock in the Sanshoku.
Oinuma hits a little upgrade. Decides 3M's the way to drop. 6-0 not going to be our Tempai hit, but Shimizu is looking very nice. A lot of Ukiire, a lot of tiles that get Shimizu to Tempai there.
Right.
Ooh, 7-pin, and now we got a tank. Are we going double Sanmenshon? Definitely the option
Seems
there.
good here. And then you have one pair, either the pair of 3-pin or the pair of 7, so
Well,
that
not
you get to keep
anymore.
with you.
If you're going double Sanmenshon, you have to throw 3-pin. I think that's Shimizu's
Yeah,
concern.
or 7, so those are the two options, I think. They're both basically symmetrical here. She's gonna throw 7, so keep
After
the
the
3-pin.
7. Maybe better Sanshoku opportunities. And
Oh, this is
6, 7,
Tempai!
8.
But it's still not really any more value. Yeah, and it just
And
goes
Tempai,
away.
Osaki doesn't want it.
I guess there's a lot of reds gone. There's only one red gone.
But again,
But
where you
opening
don't
the
have any
hand would be bad.
value.
Yeah.
It's Riichi non. That's not enough.
Oh,
Oh,
Leech!
we'll try it on the Dora though. Riichi non, Dora 2.
Direct hit on Oinuma works, but how are you gonna get that?
Just flip her up.
You're waiting on Dora, so it's got to be
There
probably
are
Sumo on Dora.
okay. There are only 2 East out so far, and nobody's probably playing it. So that could be another thought.
Right.
Hit the Ura 3. 6-pin out. I'm gonna drop 6 so. Play back
Yeah,
a
looks
bit.
like
Still keep
Shimizu
our
is giving up
Ishanten.
on first place here. She's going to
No,
avoid
still
dealing into
Ishanten. Let's
Osaki.
not get crazy. We can drop 7 so for Tempai. It's not as strong as an Ishanten, but it's not
It
the
depends if
worst.
she finds it.
Plays a 7, still willing to push, although that Haku is going to be the brave one, especially because people can tell Osaki's doing weird stuff, and she's got some condition where she's going to be able to win, or at least make a good attempt. But
Oh, it goes out!
5 comes
No
out.
Riichi!
We're going to Dama 6-9. We just
No
want to make
call from
sure.
Ando either.
Oh, and the 9 pick it's sumoed. Riichi
Oh my
non
goodness.
sumo Dora 2 or a miss.
Miss.
Does not hit the Hanuman, so I believe just shy of overtaking. Barely shy, but evens out a little bit. Reduces it to a -30 instead of a -40. Could be much, much worse.
A slight lip pucker of someone who missed the Uradora in the clutch. Oinuma with the stare at the camera. And there it is, the lip pucker. Where's the Ura? Where
Said
is
I
it?
did everything right. Where's my tile? Ah.
I mean, the wall was being pretty generous at some point.
The wall, it tried. It did what it wanted to, which, you know, was
Not
that
generous
great?
enough for Osaki's comeback.
Yeah, not sure, but it was something. So, I know that was an exciting game, but I believe we have
There's one more.
we have one more. We also have some videos. I guess not to move on too fast. That was definitely a very aggressive game. I feel like that's something you don't see a lot of the time with these Japanese professionals. I feel like a lot of the time they're very in the hand, very closed off, very build value, play passively, make sure you can fold out. But man, like we saw a bunch of 2-call, 3-call hands, very aggressive to just play a ton of value, even if you're showing it to the board.
Yeah, I mean, Shimizu, you could see why she's the women's champion. She has her own style of play, quite different from most of the other players we've been looking at.
Yeah, very aggressive,
and it seems
working out pretty well.
Dangerous, but really, she didn't deal in all that often. She was able to dodge that 4-pin deal in that we were worried was going to happen. And some of the more obvious tempais that seemed like, okay, this is a really nice tempai, good value, she actually folded in the clutch. So it seems like her spidey senses, her feelers are on full alert, able to avoid dealing in. There was a couple smaller deal-ins, but overall, just got caught when Ando hit big on her dealer and wasn't able to overtake that. Ooh.
Okay, let's see really quick. We got 2 videos. Let's show one now. We'll save the other one for a second. But let's see. Let's go ahead.
WRC action.
Yeah, let's see what we got going on here.
Okay, I'm back with Nathaniel. I finished 2 games, and the first game I got Kokshi.
Wow, it was so exciting to see you come out. I saw her in the background twice while looking at the video of the main stream. I started collecting some points, but I didn't realize they were Kokshi points.
Yeah, one of them you said you saw 2 yellow sticks. That was also 6,000 all right after the Kokshi. Second game was not bad, nothing really exciting. I got 2nd place, so positive. So positive overall, the team's positive overall, and now Mio's playing the 3rd game. And we saw a little bit more of the studio. You got to meet Mr. Tsutsui. He's the main commentator for Sankei Shimbun Cup, and also he commentates on loads of other sports and stuff too.
Yeah, I learned so much. He put so much work into running these streams that I'm gonna start doing that myself.
Yeah, we got lots of ideas to take back to our streams. We were using some of his notes before whenever I could, but it's a lot of work for just me. This is maybe the last time I see you in Japan.
That's true. I'll be moving down to Osaka for a little bit, and so I'm gonna miss seeing Jenn in person, but we'll see. I'll see you plenty online.
Yeah, I know. It's so awesome to meet Nathaniel for the first time in person. So you came here as World Reach Pro. We did a whole day's worth of filming, and we have cool video that's gonna go up as soon as we get it edited.
I'm really looking forward to seeing that edited.
Yeah, it was awesome. And then because you're a World Reach Pro, you got invited to the studio. If you weren't in the World Reach program, then you wouldn't be able to probably come into the studio and stuff.
No, absolutely not. It was fantastic to walk into the studio, to get the full tour, to get a lot of ideas for things that I want to see happen in the US. The filming experience was awesome as well. We got to visit behind the scenes of the Meiji Shrine. We got to do a lot of other things that you might not be able to do otherwise. I don't know if we should spoil it in this video, but
yeah, we don't have to spoil everything, but look forward to it. It's gonna be, we're gonna have 3 different perspectives as well, so it's gonna be really cool across 3 different channels. Do you have any ambitions as a pro going forward?
Seeing all the other pro players here, it makes me want to be a cooler pro. I want to copy some of the moves, the stylistic moves, and imitate those. We'll see if I can get that accomplished in the near future.
Well, everybody can see those moves on the WRC channel on our Sankei Shimbun Cup, and also Saikyo's and Team Battle streams with English commentary going up at the minimum monthly and sometimes more often. So, all right, well, thank you and good luck in the rest of your trip in Japan.
Absolutely, good luck the rest of the season for the Sankei Shimbun Cup.
Thank you.
That was a really cool interview. That was a really fun one. It's always nice to be able to go back and see some of the behind the scenes stuff and some of the kind of inner workings. Really cool too that Nate was able to make it over to Japan and see all that background stuff. Continue looking behind the glass, the curtain, I guess if it's called, use that Wizard of Oz reference.
Yeah, sounds like he was going all across the country. It's Zenkoku tour.
Yeah.
From Tokyo to Osaka. Well, I mean, there is more to Japan than just Tokyo and Osaka, but the main island anyway. But he also mentioned that those are some perks of being a World Riichi Mahjong pro right there.
Yeah.
He got access to some of the things that normally the organizations wouldn't be showing people outside. And so, of course, the examination period for this year, I believe, is over, but I believe applications, they're always taking applications and they'll be doing examinations again I think multiple times a year, not just once a year.
Yes,
For
I
new World
believe.
Riichi Mahjong pros.
I believe that's getting worked out as we speak. I don't know how it is
Right.
across the world, but I know that's been a very big topic here in the US. And I know there's a lot of work being done behind the scenes to get those out and hopefully get those administered or more information soon. So definitely keep your eyes peeled if you are interested about being a World Riichi Pro, all that fun stuff. But we do have other things to do, maybe even like a swap, a bit of a, you know, bit of a talking mix-up.
That's right. We can introduce another World Riichi Mahjong pro here, Corak. Welcome back to the stream.
Hello,
Corak.
everyone.
Hello, Corak. What do you, how was your hashtag Epic Friday? How are you feeling?
It's not been great.
Oh boy. Well, let me tell you, even if the rest of your hashtag Friday has not been the best, you're about to see a game in front of you, because if it is anything like these first two games, it's nothing but excitement. We have seen some great games today, and we still got one whole one to go.
All right. Well, then, why don't we go ahead and introduce the players?
Well, before that, too, I did say we had two videos. I don't want to show a video and go back to back for a video. So let's take a look at that second video that we got really quick. Let's see what there is to be said.
Hey everyone, I'm here with Sakiku Tezuka. She was on the featured table today. 今日配信卓
配信タグです。
どうでした
3着でした。
?3 着。4着じゃない。
4着じゃなかったけど、はい3着でした。
チーム参加
チームは今3と4だったんですけど、最後はトップで締めくくってくれると思います。
そうですね、順番的には。
そうだよね。
じゃあ頑張ってください。
はい、ありがとうございます。
じゃあ次、清水かおりさん。どうも。
世界大会予選1位だった清水です
予選1位とあとベスト8。
ベストそう16で負けました悲しかった
でもあれまあね、死神と同卓だからしょ
そうそう
うがない。
死神対セメントクイーンだったんだけどね
私も、ウィーンの時、ベスト32で死神と同卓で死にました、
死神強いか
そうですよ、
ねレジェンド強し
で、今日はさっき
2着でした
2着、
ただね並び的にはいい感じでプラスポイントたくさん持ってるチームがねラスだったんで並び的には良くなったんじゃないかなと思います、はい、
今日終わり1回だけ
1回だけで次はうちのゴールデンルーキーに行きますんで、はい、トップ取ってもらいます
OK、ありがとうございます
はいじゃあね
That was a fun little interview. Look at that. We have not gotten a lot of post-game interviews. I really enjoyed that. It's really cool to see their opinions afterwards.
Well, that's one thing that's consistent, whether you're a complete beginner or a very seasoned pro. You'll have strong opinions in your game after you are done.
Doesn't matter how it went, you always have some strong opinion. It is really cool to see some more of their personality, too. I know that while these players have been in a lot of different tournaments and a lot of different pro orgs, it's really cool to see a little bit of it here, because I know at least in the US, it's not always the easiest to watch some of those. So it's really nice to get that extra little bit of personality flair, kind of know the players a bit more, especially outside their play, right?
Of course, it is one thing that we always have a shortage of. We have to introduce all the players. It'd be nice just to get a better idea of their personalities, their gimmicks. Maybe we know some of their pastimes or hobbies, etc., but we don't really know them most of the time.
Yeah. Well, either way, though, as fun as that interview was, we got something a little bit bigger, a little bit more in front of us and timely to go over. And let me tell you what that is. It's the Game 3 lineup. We got our last game featuring the Golden Rookie. As Shimizu was saying Opening up in our first dealer spot, we have Hatsune Osaki. She's going to be representing our team Hokkaido Mahjong fan meeting. She is a Nihon Pro Mahjong Association player. In South Seat, the golden rookie, Ichika Natsume, representing the team Kokubun Press Industry, who is a Japan Pro Mahjong Association player. In West Seat, we have Chiyu Misaki. She's going to be playing for Team Aokei, a Nihon Pro Mahjong Association member as well. And finishing off in the North Seat is going to be Momoka Tsuji, representing Team Metajan Musume, and she is a Saiko Isen, Nihon Pro Mahjong Association player. So, I mean, I kind of want to say, like, whoa, this table's insane, but every table feels insane. In this, it really feels like every single table has such talent that it brings, and I think that's one of the really cool things about the Sankei Shimbun Cup.
Well, that is the deal with a lot of these pro organizations. Is there's a series of things you have to do to get in the first place. So you're not getting bad players, and they're getting better. The purpose of a pro org largely is to make you better at the game over time.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and I mean, we're seeing it. We got the cream of the crop in front of us, and speaking of that, I can't wait anymore, Corak. My fingers are twitching. I'm freaking out. My heart's racing. I got to get this game in front of me. I just got to see it.
Well, let's see it then. I'm in complete agreement. And you look at those faces. They look a little tense.
Mm-hmm. I mean, last game of session 2. You know, still very early in the season. But definitely want to end the day off well. Kind of reverse that game was a little bit of a reversing. It was kind of flipping the standings a little bit on their head. And so these players definitely want to either cement their place, maybe get back to previous start of the day, or keep it going and just continue the momentum.
All right, Osaki here, the first dealer. Pinfu hand, maybe some sort of Itsu in there. Has a couple 7 pairs. This is also similarly Pinfu hand. Bunch of honors to get rid of. Again, Pinfu type hand. We say it's a default for a reason. This at least has some ease. There are a bunch of ways to end up playing that hand.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how Tsuji decides to go. A couple pairs, but I mean, it feels off to play Chitoi this quick. It's going to rely on the draws. We see the Anko 2-pin for Natsume. Doesn't want to get rid of the honors just yet. Says 1 pin.
When you have an Anko like that, you're kind of fishing for value, and the 1 doesn't really add much there.
Mm-hmm.
9. Oh, well, I think
you
just head for the Itsu. So this is a head for Itsu and Sanjuku. There is still the 3-4-5. That is why the 3-pin is being kept.
Yep.
2-mon, that's your pair up. Of course, it's been unfortunate that 3-4-4 is likely to turn into 3-4, and you know where a bunch of those 2s are. But on the other hand, you want to draw the Dora anyway. You'd prefer to fill with the 5.
Yeah, that'd be a much better end result than anything else you could do. Natsume starting to get
just
rid
floating
of
the honors. I feel when you have that many, you're almost hedging Honitsu, but that's not really the situation here. Oh, speaking of hedging Honitsu, another Yakuai pair up.
Yeah, Natsume is really trying. She has that 4-6 Pinzu Kanchan, and it accepts Dora 5-pin, so she's not committed yet, but it really does feel the way she's been dropping that she wants to go towards a Honitsu. In the
there's a Ryanman fill. I think you just play for the Riichi there. Even if it's Riichi Nomi, it's likely to be reasonably good shapes. They should just be a shift down on the 9, so you can't really cut the Penchon because you want the Pinfu. Okay, Saki Gary's the 4-pin, just doesn't want the extra door indicator in hand. Could also have cut the 3-pin and used the 4 as the pair, but just wanted to get rid of it now.
Yeah,
lock in
wants to try to
accept
drop the Dora. The other thing is the Manzu shape was 1-2-2-3-4-5. And might want to use that as 2 different melds later on.
Just draw the Dora the next turn. Now the hand's
yeah,
pretty straightforward to play. Likely to be on that Penchon 7-mon for Riichi Dora 1, but Ishanten right now. We hold it to approves. The 9, so it's a complete miss.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the 9 pins a second Anko. Now headless Ishanten. 2 Anko Ishanten.
Could set up the least disguised Tsuji with that 6-0. Wants to keep it now, though. Just wants the
4-mon. That also gives a potentially Peiko route, especially if you pair up the 8-mon or 9-mon.
Oh,
Friso fills in nicely in the Honitsu. Chun's
Yeah.
not going to help.
Tsuji fully on Honitsu now. No reason to
3,
play
and
nothing
that would be the
different.
only reason to have kept the 1 earlier. Now you'd be Tempai on that Penchon, but Riichi no Penchon. Oh, well, there's an Anko. All of a sudden, this hand's
Anko
getting
green.
very scary.
Yeah, Tsuji's got some
Dora
decisions
draw.
there.
This is just the 7. Yes, this is going to use the Dora. I'm going to cut the 1-3 later. I'm going to get rid of that 7 right now. This could be a Ryokan lock-in, but instead keeps the 1, 2, 4, 6. Of course, one of those 3s just coming out. Well, you know that one's not coming out, unless it ends up some weird Chitoitsu. Won't hold the 7 as a pair, using the 5 still. East, oh, well, that would have been the right Tonki to pull in, but instead it does get called here. Now, headless, well, there is a head. It's
Yeah, I was about to
Kutsuki
say.
Shanten with the 7 and the 4. You could even Chi the 788 into the 678 or 789 and be waiting 1-4. So there are a lot of routes to Tempai there.
Speaking of Ishanten, dealer Osaki gets the 8-mon fill-in. I believe Ishanten for a Pinfu possibly, and Itsu trying to play that Dora Kanchan as well. We'll see on
3-mon
this next
isn't
go
it?
around. Yeah, that won't do it. We need the 6-mon. It's going to be the clincher for our hand.
Well, 7-so is not it. It doesn't feel great against the obvious Honitsu. Gonna check the 1 first. And followed up by a thank you for letting me get rid of this one. Oh, a Dora draw.
Ooh, Dora
really
2.
Awkward.
You could
You're
cut
tempted
8-9
to cut the
Penchon.
9-8. Yeah, I kind of like the 9 here.
Yeah, you can play your Tanyao, so you can still use the Dora too.
Right, if you pair up the 8, there are a lot of routes for it. And that just Tempai waiting on 3-so.
You could even take a Toy upgrade too on the 8-so, 4-so, or 2-so. Although really,
if
the
only
8's,
if only that call
4-so or
were a
the 2-so.
6-so, it would be Ryui So Tempai confirmed. But it was an East, so no.
Yeah, not quite, not quite.
Oh, just get another Dora.
Tanyao, Dora 3,
Oh,
Ishanten.
okay, that is Toy.
Okay, Toy, Hanuman upgrade. Toy, Honitsu, Yakuhai 2. We're waiting 2-so, 8-so. What will come?
And we can see where they are. If this hand gets pushed, it's going to deal in most likely. But that looks like a fold.
No, Natsume feels like she senses danger. And
that's
she's out.
Tempai.
Ooh,
Pinfu,
Duidama.
Tanya, Dora 2, will Dama, waiting on the 5-8.
Dora 3. Pinfu, Tanya, Dora 3. Riichi would be confirmed Hanemon. But
oh, yes, 3.
wants to catch people off guard. And on the
or
sumo
just
Hanemon
sumo for the Hanemon
way,
anyway. 1-so. Just going to continue cutting the 9-pin Anko. Oh, it doesn't feel good, but does throw the 9.
Confident 9. What are you going to do?
I mean, with that hand, you're sure not folding.
Yeah.
Well, that's not a great talk. You definitely don't want to throw the Dora here.
Yeah, feels bad.
5. Okay, yeah, that's just the fold.
Oh,
Sumo, Pinfu, Tanya, Dora 3, Hanemon.
Oof. Smoke Misaki.
See the 6,000 coming from dealer, 3,000 for the others. The 12,000 Misaki takes a very early big win here.
Very assertive position without even using the dealership yet too. So Misaki, very early high jump ahead of everybody. Definitely
Game is easier when you draw the tiles you need.
That is true. That's what again, we keep saying it every week. That's the thing I notice pro players doing the most. They just draw their tiles and it works. They do that. They fold reasonably. It just makes sense. There is some crazy hands.
Just don't overexpose themselves. Oh, there's some pretty good hands.
Haku,
and there's this one. And the 4 all of a sudden makes the hand workable. That is a North Yakuhai pair. Because it's the North seat.
Yeah, dealer, Natsume's
so
got good save. We got
this
good
is a
with the
Chun pair.
Yeah.
I mean, you might call for the Yakuhai. You'd love the Honitsu, but it's probably just the one Han. Dora pair
Dora
up. You have the
2.
North pair, so this is definitely call and go. 1-so pair up. I mean, it advances the hand a little bit. You don't really want the 3-4-4 locked in as the pair. We'll get rid of the extraneous 4-mon here.
Keeps the West, thinks there's a little bit more time till this hand can get fighting, so I want to keep a safe tile or two.
Yeah, gets the 6-8 connection. 4 is the normal cut here because you would like to be able to keep your door acceptance, but instead get rid of the 6-pin here, like the 4-mon, 7-mon floaters.
Gets
and they upgrade to the Ryanman. Ooh, pair up of the 8s. Now you could even just pawn the Dora. Not ideal because then everyone goes, wait, why did you call it terminal?
3-mon, ooh, upgrade again.
Yeah,
We're gonna
there's
cut
a
the
Ryanman,
6-8.
goes and cuts the 6. Not giving up on the 7 here. Well, that's just perfect, Ishan 10.
MP that floating Haku, that's the one, or actually that's the one that's Onko. So I don't see it ever getting Daimon cons, but definitely might look scary the longer and longer that does not go put on
7.
board.
You can't really shift this to Sanshiko. This is 7-8's pretty locked in here, so just throws it back. 4 so pulls in there very nicely, completes the Ryanman. There's the north. I imagine that gets called.
Yep, snap called.
Should be. This is Tempai now, 6-9 for Paydora 2.
Not bad. Clean 39 in the books.
Ishanten now with the 1 so pull in.
We trust
Getting
the
a little
7.
scared of the 7. That's the decision.
Yeah.
Do I throw it? The answer is if I don't throw it now, I just can't throw it.
Finds the courage, rewarded, still able to play the hand. 5 comes out, very strong Manzu, and people might get their warning flashers, go, hold on. This might actually be Tempai, not just Ishanten.
1 pin. Oh, there's your Tempai.
And
This
slam.
is Riichi Haku, 6-9 pin. So it's 6-9 pin versus 6-9 so right now.
Ooh, 7 pin. Probably will not get, or 4 pin probably will not get played from that, or 6 pin, excuse me. All
Close,
over the place.
that's not it. Gets the 5.
2 pin, we got
Well, now you can just throw the 5. You don't even have to mess with Suji here. You just shift it down.
3-mon does not look the best. We'll play 4 pin. We're backing away a little bit. Dealer Natsume struggling to find a way to Tempai through the Riichi.
There goes the 9, so deals in. That Paydora 2 first to Tempai does cash it in. As Osaki manages to recover some of the points there from Misaki that were donated through the sumo payments into second place, but Misaki's still pretty much in control here. Will be dealer in East 3.
Yeah, now we got to see what is going on. I mean, this is going to be the big hand for someone to catch up to Misaki. She's got to pay higher dealer sumo payments.
Ooh, pretty good starting hand, though.
But with this, yeah, may just continue the lead.
Well,
look at that.
It's not that expensive unless you can manage to draw, say, 9-mon and get this into Sanshiko Junshan.
Brother, it's dealer Riichi. It might as well be the most expensive hand in the world to the rest of the players on the board.
Well, it depends what turn it is. It is scary to face a dealer Riichi, but it all comes down to what do you have to fight against.
That's
what
true.
What do you have to fight with? Upgrades to a Ryoncon with the 5-7-9. This is a Pinfu. It has the west pair, but that's the south seat, so it can't be used as anything other than the pair. West, as we just mentioned. 2-pin pair up. I mean, there's Sanonko routes here. That would be a route value.
Toys.
Well, there's a potential pair, but not going to float. Keeping the 7-so and 3-mon floaters instead. With the west one out. Didn't really want that as the final weight anyway. Well, that is not the tile you wanted, but you take it.
Advances the hands, right? You can go.
You really would have liked the 3. Would have been fine with the 9 for the Itsu, but you take the 6 anyway.
Ooh.
You kind of look at it. This should be the 9 pin probably.
Yeah, it does find it, and then I guess on 7, so you upgrade the Tanyo. That's the thought process.
Yes, you can potentially cut the west and just move it towards a much better value, or even a 4-mon draw. Then you break down the Intotsu type shape with a 3-3-3-4-5. 3 so fills in the Kanchan now 2-3-4-6-8. pay isn't going to do anything here. 4, again, just hedging the Junchun route, so that's why it's thrown rather than the 1.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit awkward with the double 8 pair-ups just to be able
Well,
to get rid of both
another
of them.
pair. This does give an Ipeco
I mean, you
route.
need to play the Dora though. Oh, but no, just straight up throws
Yeah,
it
it
back.
just says
Okay.
it's not Chitoitsu. I'm going to check the Dora now and see what happens.
Wow, Saki again playing aggressive. Maybe that last table wearing off on her a little bit. Saw so much aggression for high value and how much it worked and said, why don't I try that?
Well, the advantage of throwing it when no one else has it is you're just good. That is Chitoi Ishanten.
Yep. Can build a
Another
normal hand still, but a little
4-mon.
clunky.
Could move towards Tanya if you get a 6-mon. Ooh, speaking of Chitoitsu options.
I mean,
This is a decision, I think, on the 9-pin more than anything else. But you've already cut the 2. The 1 isn't that good unless it's hard.
You don't think the 8-mon?
Chitoitsu route.
Like the Sanshoku Junshan
No.
far away?
Not until I see some improvement.
Okay. It definitely felt a little rough. But...
Ooh, well, there's your improvement.
Ooh.
The question is, going to be a 9-mon cut, or yeah, there it is. Locks in the Tanya shape. I guess unless the 6-mon onkos.
Ooh, and Dama 6-mon.
This is Dama waiting on the 6-mon.
Natsume, just Tanya no Mi. Probably
Second
wants the
3
better
so
shape.
no use. I mean, that is technically a better shape, but throws it back.
Yeah, it doesn't want it.
Not going to hold the 1 so.
Ooh,
oh,
5
well,
mon.
yeah, now the 7's useless because you'd love to draw the 4-mon and just get your Ipeco. The shape like 3-3-3-4-5-5 has a lot of flexibility.
Yeah, a ton of options on how to play that. Really importantly, there's only one Dora that's hit the board, and that was the one that was checked by Osaki at the end of row 1. So
Yeah,
players drawing it later, yeah, may find a bit of difficulty justifying
and just from
playing
some
it.
of these pawns, you're kind of wondering, wait, especially to the right, is that a Chitoitsu?
Yeah, like, hold on.
Is that a Honitsu that just is waiting for Manzu? That screams Manzu Honitsu late shift.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that is the last West.
Oh, but Tenpai's
and there's our Riichi,
found.
possible Sananko here. Riichi or Riichi Sumo Sananko.
It's going to be on 8-9 pin. Not the best. 1-9 on the wall. Or 1-9 in front. But luckily, the other players only have, what is that?
Oh, are we going to see Nippatsu? Uh-oh.
That is true. I mean, okay, there's an argument to make. 6, 7...
You could go with the 7-mon Suji and just goes with the Genbutsu 4.
Yeah. Extends it out. I think it's a very smart heads-up play. You don't see the Dora. Things are looking weird.
Speaking
you don't have
of
that much
seeing
value.
the Dora, we saw one there. Ooh, that's interesting. You could cut the 7-mon here, but just going to continue for the Tanya route.
East up. There is 2 on the board. Should not deal in. I'm going to play the 4, though.
4. Felt like that was pulled in a little closer. I thought it was it, but no.
Not quite. 8, so...
That is Tenpai, Riichi, Pinfu, Tanya, possible Ipeco.
Well, the 8, it'll be on the 8-mon, and the 8-mon's dead, so... Just on the 5.
No Ipeco. Oh, there's your Sumo Sananko. Reach Sumo Sananko.
No Ura,
no
don't
Ura
need
doesn't
it.
matter. It's Mongon either way.
Whew. Huge hand for dealer Misaki. Now just kind of running away with this. Still dealership ahead on everybody by, what is that, like 24 or 28K? She has all the time in the world. She might just start racking it up. Just keep the points coming. No reason not to. And this high pie isn't even that bad either. Not the best, but certainly not the worst. You have an Itsu shift. Could be Chanta in a faraway land. Even throws the 5-mon to take in both those routes. Doesn't want to play max efficiency. Says, we got all the value I could want. Don't need anything more. Seven so not going to do anything. It looks like Corak may be having some technical difficulties too. That's why you're not hearing his lovely voice. Don't worry, he's getting it solved out. 6-pin coming up. Very good draw.
Fremon pairs up. It could be Tanyo even.
Oh, there we go. Corak's back.
Sorry, I had a call. Very important one.
Hey, if I've learned anything from Riichi, sometimes there is a call you just cannot pass up.
All right. Well, possibly Peiko upgrade here. If you get that 8
that'd be
pin, the
nice.
hand's really interesting. And this is a do I want to go Chinitsu or at least hedge it? And goes with the 7 so.
Mm-hmm.
Three pin gives the Peiko upgrade here. Kind of ruins the Junchan host. We'll hedge both with the East cut.
Yep, thinking. What's the move? What's the play?
I'm just going to sit in this tune. Again, Dreaming Honitsu. Well, Dreaming Chinitsu will take Honitsu. Ooh, now you lose a potential Itsu and says it's either Junchan or Itsu. With that 5-pin cut.
Mm-hmm.
Itsu in the Sozu as opposed to the Hinzu, which is what it looked like before.
I mean, may even just be playing the Ryoncon to kind of try to assert the Sotogawa on the 7 as well.
Well, if you can get the Peiko, the rest of the hand doesn't matter a ton.
Shinshin, not going to do it. With Norstead, this is always one of those interesting situations because people can see the door is probably not getting used by anybody, so you kind of don't have to fear too much value so you get later into the game and people start building out their hands, their value routes.
1 pin, not going to really help here. 8 so, not going to help. And East, not going to help. We'll hold his relative safe tile because the hand's just not moving forward. Oh, the backfire, having got the 5 earlier. 2 so, that upgrades to Ryoncon. You just got the 3-mon here. You can get greedy cutting the West. We'll keep the Ishan 10, possibly Peiko.
In the maximum shape, just try to get there by any means necessary.
4-mon Anko. It's going to be really hard to beat Tanya. This is Ishan 10 technically, but you're not thrilled with it. Cuts the 4, wants this Junchan, but you don't even have a pair yet.
5-pin decision
Speaking of more
time.
pairs, I think this is 3 so because you hedge the Chitoitsu and the Chinitsu.
Feels like you have to. It's too good not to.
Well, plus we're middle of second row. You don't usually have as much time at this point. Great draw on the 1 so though. This should just be the West or probably the 3 so.
Yeah, wants to keep that safe tile. Make sure they have a little bit of breathing room.
Oh, that's the
Peiko
perfect draw.
found.
This is the Riichi Peiko.
Riichi Peiko
And
Pinfu,
Pinfu, I believe.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, and that forces 8-pin Genbutsu out. That causes a little bit of trouble for Osaki with that great hand.
Well, yeah, but was still clearly thinking Chitoitsu at this point anyway. So if you're banning the Chinitsu, you just throw the Genbutsu.
Yeah.
No,
Chun
it never
comes
feels good to
out.
draw the Chun after having cut 2 Chun. Not speaking of.
Yeah, don't need that 4th
Close,
Chun.
but not it. Needs that 2-5 pin. 6 is the Riichi tile. 4 pair up, but this feels more like just a fold.
Yeah, not quite going to do it.
Pay is Dora, but out it goes.
Yeah, Natsume is pretty backed away. She just wants to stay safe. Playback,
Well,
not
this
take
is
the risk.
Ishunten for Junchun Ipeiko, but I have to shove the 7-mon and the 5-so and says, nope, we're done.
Yeah, just too much to justify.
One of the things I feel a lot of newer players run into is they vastly overvalue Ishunten. You know what good Ishunten is? It's worth nothing.
That's
It
not
has
true in your
potential
heart of
to improve.
hearts. That's not true in the heart of hearts.
Okay, ask any pro how many Ishunten Yakuman they've had. You will get stories upon stories. I guarantee it.
Oh, and the 8-pin chi, surely to move
This
the
feels like a
Hote.
Haite shift.
Yeah, the Haite shift, excuse me.
Yeah, just throws the safe 1 pin anyway.
Maybe thinking
You
if there
can
was a
get
way to
the
get to
very
Tenpai,
specific
but
draws for yourself and discards by the Riichi. Maybe you sneak it at Tenpai, but it looks much more like a shift.
I pair up. Natsume is too far back now, though. Just trying to find some safety against the Riichi player. Besides, 7-mon is that safety. Passes.
5, this is Ishunten.
Could try south if you're really trying to sneak at a Tenpai, but nope, just opts to play back. Says, don't want it. Not a fan.
Yeah, I know a lot of people would just shove the south here. It looks fairly dangerous here, but it's not south player, and
So if you
it's
deal
not
in, at
south
least it's
round.
pretty
So if it
cheap.
deals in,
And
it's
the
very
Dora's
likely
out.
Chitoi.
Yeah.
Well, it's very likely Chitoi, and we
Mhm.
see all the Dora. So, speaking of the south,
Yeah, there's that second one.
that's when
Not
where
quite
not
into
enough
Senpai,
tiles were
though.
revealed to be any sort of issue. So
I don't think any tiles were revealed, were they? Didn't they all just fall face down?
2 did. I think one was kind of on its side. I don't know if the other players could see
Okay.
it though.
It should be fine with that. Things happen. It's the end of the round.
Yeah, and that's why the rules are very descript on what counts as a penalty and what level they are. Is even pros mess these things up. Something to always consider that a lot of people just forget.
Yeah.
All right, looks like a Pinfu type hand. 3-pin would really help.
Yeah,
Possible
do a
2,
lot of
3, 4
work.
Sanshoku. 3, 4, 5. Ooh, Chun pair.
I don't do something. You got some good Sozu around.
You have so many floaters, it's just awkward. You want to go Honitsu, but you can't even really determine the suit necessarily. I guess just by default you go Dora suit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's something I always consider is in any Akanashi I'm playing, is if I have a route to Honitsu, I'll generally take it, especially if it gives me the Dora suit. But now he keeps drawing Sozu tiles. Okay, that plans out. We'll just go Sozu Honitsu.
We'll just do our
6
thing.
so Anko.
Floating Dora is going to get a little bit weird for Misaki, but she also is in the lead by a lot, so plenty of time to do something with it.
Yeah, we did see the 2-so being held at the 2, 4, 5, just hedging that Sanchoku really hard. 4-so pair up. It advances the hand, but there's no value. You have this loose Dora. This could be 8-pin. This could be Haku. Yeah, 8-pin is probably the normal cut there. 2-mon pair up. That's kind of an annoying draw because it kills your value routes.
Yeah, I mean, there might be some ways that you can justify cutting it later, but
I mean, that's a value route. Just draw another Dora.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
When in doubt, just draw more Dora.
Efficiency out, building that Dora Tonki route for Misaki as well. Again, she's got all the time in the world now. Saki wants to catch up. Definitely needs to hit some of those calls. Finish out that Honitsu.
Haku's not going to help. 9-pin's not going to help.
Yeah, Suji's hand is so far behind everybody else.
You got to be careful. You saw the hand up there. No. I didn't actually mean Riichi.
I don't know how these rules are, but I know at least for WRC rules, there's 3 actions, and that's 1 of 3. You need 2 of 3 for it to be a legal Riichi. So I'm going to assume
again, the rules are very distinctively written to protect the game. So they know what is required.
Another pair there.
7-pin is going to help. 5-pin pair up. Could go 1-2 here. Plan on calling the East. 5. Okay,
That'll
this is
help the
Ishon 10, but you'd
shape.
have to cut Dora on Tempai. So
Nah,
this says
doesn't
if
want
that's the
it.
case, I got my 1-3 now. Forget this.
Cut the worst shape. If I'm taking a bad shape, Riichi, I'm making sure I get a Dora out of it.
5 so doesn't do anything here. Going to hold it anyway. I think the idea here is to draw the 4 and get the 2, which is reasonably safe at the table right now.
Mm-hmm. Even the 5 mon break there for dealer Tsuji just really wants to keep the Dora chance in. Play the 3-6 round and fill in.
Speaking of 3-6, not quite what you intend.
Yeah. And the problem is time is
Do
starting
so.
to run
Okay,
out.
finally an upgrade. Ishon 10 now.
Yeah, still has not seen Shun or North.
This is Tempai for Tone Dora 2.
1-4 so. 7, that's not quite going to do it.
Yeah, and especially after the call, you just don't want to help the open hand.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's something we've seen very often is most of these pros do not open for 1 Han.
Yeah.
Unless they're just desperate to end the game.
Yeah, their EV calc with opening on the 1 Han is usually more than just the 1 Han. It's got to be Uma placement with it to get the value you need to justify putting yourself at that disposition.
5 so isn't it? Doesn't even get the Tempai here. 2 pins.
Another miss.
Drawn last turn didn't help then. Doesn't help now. That 3-6 mon is just not working. But okay, I'll just call this and go for my own Tanya.
Yeah, it says 3-6
It's Tanya
running
time.
out. Time's running out. Ooh,
Oh, well, that's
Tempai.
Tempai. Possible Sanonko.
Dama.
This is...
It would be Honitsu,
Dama,
possible Shun.
Shun,
possible
and possible
Sanonko.
Sanonko.
The Sanonko is Hanemon. The Chun is Mangan. The North is 3 Han.
Doesn't matter. Deals in on the 1 so.
Oof.
3,900 plus the Homba.
Yeah, and that will be a helpful hand for Natsume. And Osaki
And
now
Natsume
left a little bit behind.
second.
Yeah.
But Osaki has a chance right now as dealer in South 1 to make some of those back. Preferably all of them.
Yeah, it's going to be a dangerous hand. I mean, Osaki really needs to make something happen. One big hand here to stay competitive, especially without a dealership going into the South. If somebody else wins or passes Osaki's dealership, Osaki is going to struggle to get out of this position in Akanashi.
Now, 1 Mondora doesn't really fit in this hand, though. That feels like a whole bunch of pairs. Maybe Peiko, Meijiko, Chitoitsu. Speaking of pairs, okay, this feels Toitsuba already.
Yeah.
But maybe not as much now. We see a couple pairs here. The East, maybe Call It has a Dora as well.
Well, the East isn't Yakuza
I don't know. This
anymore,
feels...
so...
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we are in South 1, so you can't really do anything.
So probably just slow, waiting on time, trying to draw up some more things. Same for Natsume here. See where the hand takes you.
Toitsuba, if you haven't seen all our broadcasts before, is everybody gets pairs. We're not quite at that yet, but we're seeing some of it.
There's a lot of pairs. Oh, wow.
And you did say there are a lot of pairs. Immediately drew another one.
It'll be interesting. I mean, that's not a Chitoi pawn throwing north, green, white.
Oh, okay. That was the 4-mon. It's not an important tile, so there's no issue. Like, accidentally reveal, say, that Rinshan tile, that causes problems.
Yeah, the Rinshan, I think, second Dora indicator. But even technically, by the rules, are not by the letter illegal or Chambo things. But let's not get into rule litigation.
Yes.
That's a whole...
We'll deal with it when it comes.
Yeah. 5 so coming out. Another pair doesn't like it. Tsuji's like, don't care.
Well, you still have that 3-4-5. Adding the 5 doesn't help to keep the Ishunten.
Mm-hmm.
Haku. Oh, well, that's the first sacrificial pair for the Chitoitsu.
Yeah, you need 3 or 4. At least 3 or 4. So you're on your way.
I feel 2 is just the general minimum, unless you double Riichi. Like, that's kind of an exception. But it feels you used to have 2 pairs in your pod. And you feel unfortunate if you have 3 or 4.
Oh, I thought 3 or 4 was the standard. I guess I'm just Mr. Unfortunate then.
I mean, that is what you get for going Chitoitsu.
Yeah, fair enough.
Definitely not a fad here. Oh, well, that's just Tempai. Could cut the 1-mon, but instead we'll just go ahead and throw the stick in.
With
This is
Dora
waiting on the
1-mon?
2-mon.
Ain't
Yeah.
no
Oh,
way.
yeah, Dora 1-mon. Yeah, so that is just Riichi Dora 1 waiting on the 2. So the Riichi's definitely the standard play there. There are some people I know that would cut the 1 there. The problem is you've already cut the 9, so all your improvements are basically dead.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the problem is like the Pinfu is just 1 for 1, and then you have to wait and pray you draw the upgrade. You could argue to just keep the Dama for that, but you got to keep the Tempai.
I don't think Dama really makes much sense here. Well, there's a 1 pin. Yeah, still waiting on that 2. I think it's pretty good. I haven't seen a whole bunch of them. Well, that gives any Peiko route if you're willing to challenge a bit here. It would be throwing the Chun, which is live, so not going to do it.
A little weird. Wow, and plays 2-pin, yeah.
There's the first 2-mon. 3 close, but not it. That means we have 3 left in the wall.
Yeah, not terrible, but also not the best. Okay, a little bit of shape there.
Hatsu just going to get thrown right back. And another Hatsu gets thrown right back. Oh, there's another 2.
Oh, but now we have the 2-5 check that nobody wants to do. What are we going to do about it?
There it goes.
Throw it back. Trying to play more towards the outside.
No,
Dora.
So 2,600. Not that impactful in terms of points, but it ends Osaki's dealer turn here.
I mean, that's huge. Suji is able to catch up to second just about too, and distance herself from Osaki more.
Yeah, well,
Very
Osaki just has to
impactful.
keep pushing for efficiency there because you can't afford to give up your dealer turn here when you're already in 4th place. That's just kind of that basic situation. When the hand was still really close. Again, that classic, what is he shunting? Well, it's not worth anything yet. All right, we have an East pair. That is the Yakuhai. So this is the dealer hand. Pretty good shapes overall. There's a Chanta route as well. This has the Peiko in Sozu. A whole bunch of otters to get rid of, though. This is a pretty standard Pinfu. This is similarly a pretty standard Pinfu. We have the 5-so pair. Otherwise, I'd be dreaming Juncham, but it's just not really there. Now, this could turn into a Toy. You could cut the 6-mon or the 3-pin or even the 1-so here.
Toy feels like a hard call. Especially
everything's a hard call.
I mean, that's why I feel like you just back up, play the slow Chitoy, hope you draw into it. As unfortunate as that sentence is, you know, sometimes you're just not getting anything. Gotta figure out how to make a hand out of nothing.
Well, I mean, there's another right here, and that's the fancy Chitoitsu hand.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, just 7 tiles away, whatever. You know, only 13 away
I've
from the
seen it go
Kokushi.
from farther.
Don't get me wrong. I've seen.
I would hold this 2-mon for sure because of Sanshoku.
The Sanshoku 1, 2, 3 is huge there. Huge.
Ooh, okay. Now we see how that's a real interesting tile.
Maybe 1-so.
Okay,
nope,
gets rid of the 3
right away. Makes sense, actually.
Not fishing for the Peiko. Feels the overlap useless, but the important part is keeping the 1-so and really greeting the Sanshoku. Speaking of 1-mon draws.
Oh, yeah, and it's going to
commit 1, 2, 3 Sanshoku hedges.
Ooh,
Dora draw.
Dora.
So we'll hold on to that for now.
Yeah, we like
love
that.
the 7-mon, but it is the Dora indicator, so it's always hard to get. 4 completes that shape. Eight pin, no, that's not going to do anything
Not
here.
going to help too much at all.
West is similarly a blank, but the rest of the hand just isn't coming together, so this feels like you may just fold out. Haku, hold is a safe tile, but just not thrilled with the draw. There's only a situation where everyone thinks everyone else is more advanced than they actually are.
Yeah, right. You feel, oh, I'm so slow, like I'm falling behind. I really got to get this. And it's like, nope, everyone's doing that.
Everyone's
Even
suffering.
Stevens.
Another 2-so doesn't help at all here.
Yeah, not gonna help
Game on
Osaki.
Dora
Dora
pair
pair,
up.
that'll do it. I mean, the hand's still a little clunky, but
Yeah, well, it's not a little clunky. It's really clunky.
you need double. I mean, you just gotta hit 2 8s,
Ooh,
Corak.
6 pin's an interesting draw. You could go 1 pin here even.
Oh, for the Tanyao, I kind of do like that. That's fun, but nope, gonna throw it right back.
Karigiri it, cutting the 6 from the hand. 2 pin, locking in the Sanshoku plan.
Yeah.
4 isn't going to help. Of course, that's what happens when you cut the 3 the previous turn. You're guaranteed to draw the 2 or the 4. I think it's in the rules somewhere.
Got it. Ooh.
Going for the Peiko route. Once that 5 on. Haku pair up. Well, now you can use just cut the 5s and go Chanta. Ooh, Anko on the
Oh,
East.
that's so massive. That is such a huge tile. Fixes the problem immediately. For who was that? Was that Natsume's hand? Was that dealer hands? Yeah. Huge draw.
Yeah, there it goes.
Shanten there, 7 pin, not gonna do it.
No, can't do anything with that draw. Yes, this is dealer, so the East is an Anko. With the Yaku High, can call anything for Tenpai. One pin isn't going to do it. 6 pin isn't it either. It came out a few turns ago. It doesn't feel that dangerous. 9-1. You can cut the 9 so for the Itsu hedge, but that requires you to cut Dora later. So it says nope.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a live East. And you see the hesitation here.
Yeah, but it's not Yaku High anymore. There's no Riichi, but nope, doesn't want it.
Well, figures the shapes are pretty locked in anyway. That's one where you're holding as a safe tile and you just hope dealer doesn't Riichi.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the thing is, dealer probably won't Riichi anyway, but may get Tenpai.
Hesitation here. Oh.
Yeah, figures the hand value isn't going to happen. We're getting to 3rd row. The Chanta 1-Han upgrade is not very helpful. Oh, that's the perfect draw. There's our East. There's our Riichi, Pinfu, Tanya, Ipeiko. 4-7 pin.
Weight is kind of bad. You can already see there's 1 4-pin and 3 7-pin visible just on board. But there was the 6-8 cut earlier, so maybe hoping that.
Well, the other part is if everyone's cutting 4-7 pin, that means it's probably in the wall.
Yeah, no one's able to use it. Well, 5. We got some hesitation. Could throw 9 so here. Play these 6-5. 5 is Genbutsu
just throw the 5 back because if you draw the 8, that's fine. Oh, just sumo, Riichi, Patsumo, Pinfu, Tanya, Ipeiko, or a 1.
Whew.
I think that's only 7. That would be a Hanemon for sure.
Yep.
And it is.
Hanemon for Suji. Huge hand. Flips things back. Suji's last dealer too, so Suji can actually make a reasonable run on Misaki.
Closes the gap. The other part of this is Osaki is now within range of Natsume. Mm-hmm. We're in South 3 here. So maybe you lose some points, but get a better chance at the placement upgrade. It's only 10 Uma difference, but it is something.
Yeah.
I like this hand so far.
Oh my! I don't. That's Chitoi like Ryan Shanten with random floating Dora.
Maybe.
Oh, don't say that. You have 6-9 Suji pair. What else are you gonna do? You have Dora floating.
You have Ipeiko.
With nothing else besides Ipeiko, though.
You may end up jumping 6-9 with the Ipeiko, which I always find funny to do. West, though, is a blank.
Yeah, that won't do it.
Forso completes the Ryanman here, moving towards Tanyao. This is a Pinfu type hand. 1, 2, 3 Sanshoku is the main value route. This is the North player, so that's double Yakuhai in hand, with the Chun pair and the Pei pair.
Also has Dora, I believe, worked in the hand.
Yeah, there goes your Chitoi opinion. Says, forget it, throws the 1.
Says, do not care. Ooh, North.
Oh, just Anko up the Pei.
This could be a dastardly hands. Could be double Yakuhai.
This could be 9-9 or even 6-6.
I feel like you have to if you're playing this way. No, probably 6, right? Because if you
I
draw
feel
around the
the
first 6 well.
so is the normal play there,
Yeah.
but figures maybe the upper Manzu may be held.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess with 2 8s on the board and 1 9 pretty quick, figures the 6 9 so may not be the most usable to other people.
Right.
Gets the 8 to help.
Especially the 9. The problem is one of those 9s is already out.
Yeah, but you know, still 1 left. Can be
Oh,
optimistic.
that is an accidental reveal, but we're fine here. 5
Oh,
Onko. Now
5.
Ishunten for Son Onko.
Double Yakuai
Possible
potentially
Su
too.
Onko upgrades. Una, that's usually tiled. You just cut the 6-0. Nope.
Could play the
Throws the
Yonkan.
4 back. That should be the
5,
6. Yeah,
6,
there it
yeah.
goes.
Sitting
Chun
pretty
is not
Shantan.
going to help. But it does
Ooh.
help here. Now, interesting question. You can't. I think you have to cut 6 7. No, takes the
6
tempai.
tempai. That's
That
almost
is an
cannot
I'm
deal
willing to
around.
take I'm willing to take third. I'm not really trying for second. Now, I think this is interesting because the Uma split is 2010. So that means there's actually a 20-point jump. Oh, that's just tempai. Oh, that is a beautiful tempai.
Oh, is that? Oh, 3, 3,
3,
5, 6,
5,
8.
6, 8. Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah, that's pretty good. That'll be hard for people to dodge around. That's half of the Manzu. Dora won't deal in, but
Well, they are all middle tile. Oh, are we going to see a con? I think you have to con here.
it's north. It's safe. You could justify it. Yeah, you're not fishing for value. So
Well, you also have the benefit of conning breaks Ipatsu.
oh, Dora 2. Yeah, that is true. But yeah, I don't think you care about Ipatsu.
Oh, just Ipatsu, Riichi
Riichi
Patsumo,
Sumo. Yeah.
Tanyao. No Ura, doesn't matter. Mangan either way. And Suji's going to be in first place now, going it all last.
Wow, big for Suji. The question is, can the gap boost her to the end of the game? I mean, 3K gap, that covers you in a lot of Ryukoku situations, so that might be enough for Suji, but it's not guaranteed.
It would also be a big jump for their team because, of course, Osaki's taking a fourth. You see the yellow scores here. This would be a huge result if it ends here.
We'll have to see what the high pie is. Suji's going to want to collect some more, but there's only so much you can do.
Pinfu hand feels normal. You have a 4-mon pair.
Oh,
You'd
you
like
got
the
East
door.
pair.
Oh, you have an East pair. Okay.
With door. Oh, not door 2. Not door 2.
The physical hand was covering it up.
Oh, but
This is a
jeez,
Chun
Osaki's
Onko.
hand.
Well, the
9
problem
so
is
paired.
Osaki almost has to go Honitsu at this point.
Yeah, but I mean, has a route
Because I don't know
there.
how you're making Mangan out of that otherwise. So it's going to be much slower than it would be in, say, an East 1 situation. This
Oh wow,
has a
north
South
south
and a
double
North pair,
Yakuai,
double
7 pair
Yakuai.
too.
5 is a Ryanman. I guess Riichi Sumo Chun Ura counts as well.
Yeah, it might get you there.
There's our pay pawn.
Yep, Misaki looking to end this with 3 Han, which I think she has locked and loaded, right? Double Yakuai plus Adora. Assuming that the what is it? Wait, that's not Chun, is it? No, that's not Chun. It's South,
No,
right?
the pay.
Yeah, South is the other pair. Okay.
Yeah,
has
no,
the
that's
Dora
just
too.
2 Han right now, but you do have the Dora. We'll need the 4-mon though. Or of course pair the Dora up. That's the preferred option.
Yeah. I'm not going to do it. Osaki really trying to send that Honitsu, but the wall is not being kind.
Now, Natsume's almost given up on this hand. Oh, well, you can't just con here. You might con for the draw, because I don't think it even hurts you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just goes ahead and takes it here.
Fish for another
6
Dora,
mon
help
doesn't do
your
anything.
conditions.
8 mon's a blank, though.
Yeah, it's not good enough. Itso, Ishan 10
Well,
for
that
dealer.
is Ishan 10.
And still call the East, too.
1-mon pair up. Wanted to go into the Sanchiku, but the hand's just kind of in shambles at this point. Paku's a blank. Okay, which safe tile do you want? Not going to take the safe tile. Going to get rid of the useless Hatsu. Figure she's way ahead in this hand. And she is ahead in this hand, but not as much as she thinks.
Yeah. 9-pin cut. Gonna go with the game plan of cutting, or excuse me, calling that east for Tsuji.
Really, it's making
in
that the best
tempo.
option. Dora draw here.
Oh, could
The
play
Sanshoku route
Sanshoku,
looking
possible
better.
Junchan, possible
Well, that was
Chanko.
always the plan here,
Yeah.
but just needed the tiles to get there.
3-pin, that's
3-pin
not
doesn't
gonna
do anything. Just gonna keep these
Saki is
1/7
just
floaters.
drawn dead for this Sozu Honitsu. Cannot draw any bamboo for the life of her.
Well, that is always the problem with Honitsu, is it means 2/3 of the tiles are useless to you.
Yeah.
Less than that because of honors oftentimes, but usually you only need one honor and all the others are useless.
Oh, 3 Dora. So now we got 2 floating Dora. We're gonna play the 2. You go, you know what? Let's play both of these Dora, hit a Riichi, hit some Ura. That'll solve our problems.
There's the south, there's the call. Tempai now waiting on Formon. This is, you have the Con and the Pon and a Con chance. This would be 50 Fu.
Yeah, 350, 64, locked loaded would be enough to Gyakuten, our dealer Tsuji.
Hatsu isn't going to do anything here. East.
Yeah, we're looking and we're like, this board's kind of weird. Can we afford
Out
to
it
not
goes.
drop it?
There it gets
Nope.
called.
Oh, this might be
which was going to
forgot.
take in. No,
Oh,
Zay throws
dodges
the
with the
6/6. That is the correct decision. Waiting 8-pin Formon versus the Formon Kanchan.
8-pin's still pretty live in the wall. 8-mon out. It's not going to do it.
Yeah, that's not it. Another 6. Has the option to switch. It says, nope, the 4s are not coming out. And that makes a lot of sense because the 4s are often going to be an in-demand tile, given the first Dora is 3-mon.
Oh, the 6! And that comes out from Natsume. Wait, what?
No.
Oh, it was
because
4-mon.
Remember, the 6
yes.
was cut. It's just
but we'll
sumo,
draw the
easy
4-mon.
game.
See, I was like, there's a win coming. Wait a second. That's not the win tile. I just knew Tsuji had it like that. So game's extended and Tsuji gets a bit more of a lead. That's going to make it a little bit harder now.
Yeah, you have the Honba, but it is the sumo. Yeah, it's not 3 enough. Let's see. Well, if it's 4,000, that'd be
I think
41.
it just barely.
Yeah, 3 on
Gyakutens.
sumo would be enough. As long as it's not reach sumo Pinfu. The 320 I don't think is enough, but it's really close.
Yeah, especially with the Honba. So condition hasn't changed that much, but you can't hit the 3 Han anybody anymore, which makes it a little harder.
Yeah,
And
well,
you
in
don't
this
have two
situation, you
Ura
just build for
indicators, too.
Mongon, and if you don't get there, so be it. The advantage you have as Misaki is you don't have to worry about Natsume or Osaki. Unless there are some cons and just major value happening, you can pretty much ignore them.
Kind of see out Tsuji's
The problem is
playing.
Tsuji now has cleared the 4,000 gap, so you can just go to the end of the hand, declare no 10, and lock up the win. If it gets there.
I mean, with Oka, too, valuable points.
Yes. All right, well, look at these hands. This is Pinfu Tanyao with a Dora. This is a Pinfu, probably not the Tanya, but 2 Dora. This is a Pinfu Mini. Peiko even get that 7-pin. And this is standard Pinfu hand.
Ooh,
June
double
pair.
Yakuhai for
Okay,
Natsume.
well, now you have your Akuhai.
With double
Lock
Dora,
it in
too.
with the Dora. Yeah, the question is, how do you get that to Mongon, though? That's the concern here. But there's the tune. Does get called.
I mean, Natsume can think about that later. She might just be trying to get any points, too. It might decide, you know what, this 3 Han's good enough. Maybe I draw another Dora, hit Mongon that way. Either way, I'm not really catching up to Misaki and Tsuji. I'll just take whatever points I can get.
That is, no, a direct hit rolled on Osaki 3 Han is not enough.
For Osaki, Gyakuten, Natsume?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's Natsume opened up for the 3 Han, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Natsume, I think, is just trying to get any points she can in all out.
Yes, you just try and lock this down, move on.
Call it a day. They've had 2 games before this, you know. End it there, wrap it up.
Well, his hand's not getting better. Just gonna cut the 8-mon here. Pei is useless for that Tanya. There's the overlap on the 4-mon, but nothing else. 7-mon's useless in this hand. 5 completes or creates a Rionman. This should be the south of the 9-pin. I'd go 9-pin. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Keep some
4-mon
efficiency.
pair up, but I don't think that even helps.
I think you want to keep all your other stuff. You just don't have enough efficiency in the other shapes.
That's a call, though. Now, Ishan 10, which shape do you want? Just going to go for the regular one. Cut the east now. Fumbles at the top before the 9 comes out, but it does. West is useless.
Wait, was that?
We'll cut the south.
No, that was not Sume. Okay. I thought I was bugging for a second.
3-pin, huge draw.
Oh, that's massive.
This should probably be
6-pin.
6-pin. I would have gone 7, so.
Maybe thinking of the 2-3-4 Sanshoku shift.
Yeah, but with the door,
that's
value. Really hard.
I mean, yeah, but you're Osaki. You need to figure out how to Gyakuten somehow, right?
Well, the plan just Mangan Sumo. There isn't too much to think about.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Seven Mon is a blank. 7 So is a blank.
Miss.
That is not Sume. The 5 that accepts a door. Could go 1-2-pin here. The question is how much you want to expose yourself. Can also go 8-pin, but I feel 1-2 is the normal play.
You get the door too. I mean, I think the problem is unless you're getting Itsu, like you never get there anyway, and like Pinzu's not really getting Itsu. There's only one 9-pin left, so I feel like you kind of have to.
That's why my other option is the 8-pin. But you have 3 of those 9s. Oh,
exactly.
So it's not even that good as a floater.
That's what I'm thinking. You got to take.
You figure the 8-pin's fairly likely to come out. Does go with the 8. Figures there's almost certainly one 9-pin. We know there isn't.
Yeah.
5. There's your Tempai. Riichi, Pinfu, Tanya, Dora 1. Tempai 1-4.
Versus the 1-4-mon. Hatsune wants to shut things down.
There's the Ipatsu. Riichi, Ipatsu, Pinfu, Tanya, Dora.
No Uradora. Oh, and that's not going to Gyakuten.
Just the Mangan.
Oh,
just a little bit short, even on the Ipatsu. That's why I said Mizuki doesn't really care. Even if it did deal to Hanemon, it doesn't affect Mizuki's position. But we see here Tsuji, the big winner, with a 53.1. Only one that ends up above the starting score. Mizuki in second place with 9.3. Well, we'll see on Tsuji for a bit, I guess.
It was a big
There
win.
we go. Yeah, it is. Mizuki there, the 9.3. And Natsume and Osaki doesn't feel great. Natsume probably in the worst position. Manages the 3rd, but the team's starting to sink a bit. And Osaki goes from the team in the 1st position in the group to the 2nd. So dropping quite a bit in that game specifically.
Yeah. And as we see the standings after session 2, which should line up, yes. That is going to be Metajan Musume coming out on top so far after 2 sessions, with an okay gap on Hokkaido Mahjong fan meeting.
I mean, everyone here is within range, and we're very early in the season, but it just feels better to be 71 than minus 71.
Definitely will help a little bit. But I do think
we have a video.
Yes,
somewhere.
I was going to say we should have a video pulling up. So let's get that and see what is in store.
こんばんは。JPML のみおです。昨日は産経新聞杯第2節でした。で、私は仕事終わって、3回戦ジェンと交代するために仕事終わって急いで向かいました。ジェンはトップと2着。 前回私がジェンのポイントを全部なくしたのでちょっと心配だったんですけれども、嬉しくトップ取れましたで昨日の成績は、ジェンと私合わせて121でポイントをいっぱい稼ぎました。試合前にジェンに、攻めていいって言ったら、失うものないから攻めていいよって言われてちょっとホッとしました。だけどなんか対局中に私またペコペコっと降りてましたね。やっぱり人ってなかなか変われないかもで、難波の親番で、トイメンさんラス目のトイメンさんが、マンズの3フロ入れて鎮逸か本逸かまだ分かんない時に、テンパったんですよ。パピンがドラでアンコって両面待ちで攻めるぞと思って、そこで3万ワンプッシュしてリーチで上がって、それで多分トップにつながったと思います。次回は映像対局です。またまたいっぱいポイント稼ぐように皆さん応援よろしくお願いします。
Look at that. Team WRC kind of going crazy, don't you think?
I mean, I'll take a plus 136.5 any day.
Yeah, oh my god. What is that all raw points?
No, that's after Uma. But
Well,
yeah,
I
this
mean,
is points
just
for the group.
This just for today.
Yes, just for this day. I can
Oh
do some
my
head math, and
goodness.
that's about right.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not going to pass that up at all. Definitely not going to be upset about that one.
Yeah, matched up perfectly because you have the 6.5 from Jenn and the 136.5 overall. So the two add up to 130. There you go.
Look at that. Look at that.
Absolute dominance. Fortune favors the bold. They're talking about having to push a 3-mon into an obvious Honitsu/Shinitsu, but with 3 Dora, it doesn't matter. Slams the Riichi, wins the hand, and picks up the game. But of course, the highlight's Jenn in that first game.
Yeah, Jenn just absolutely going crazy. Absolutely.
Well,
going
I hear
insane.
Kokushi helps if you actually win one.
That's true. I mean, I tried to win a Suanko the other day, aka last night. It did not help, but I also forgot to actually win it. So I think that's my problem. I think that's where I need to fix it. I need to actually complete the Yakuman hands.
Now, congratulations to Jenn and all of Team WRC. As mentioned, it sounds like they're going to be on the featured table next session.
Yes, it should be the 14th and 15th of August. Again, the 15th especially is when we are going to see Team WRC shine and on this broadcast here. And that is going to be super, super awesome. Again, I am frothing with excitement, for no better term that I can use to describe it. Just absolutely going to be great. Also,
we are looking forward to it. We hope you will look forward to it as well.
Yep. And while we are about to go, we do want to give one more shout out. I know the 14th, 15th of August, a little bit far away, over a month, but we got a little bit more mahjong for you just before then. On the 1st and 2nd of August, we're going to be able to do the Saikyo-isen team battle. We're going to have 2 broadcasts for those. That is going to be super exciting. A little bit of a different rule set. Always fun to see it switch up. Those have been super fun to watch. Make sure you
the mixed
tune
teams
in,
opposed to the women's league here, so you got a very different dynamics at the table, especially on the gender battles.
I mean, yeah, it's still a lot of absolutely, frankly, just amazing players. Just again, same level of talent, I would say. And that's going to be super cool. And if you missed any of our previous Saikyo-isen team battles, make sure to check them out. They're saved on this channel, so if you want to catch up before those broadcasts, please, please, please make sure you watch those videos. And with that, also make sure to, subscribe to the WRC channel, join the Discord. You don't want to miss any updates. You don't want to miss anything. Make sure you hit that bell. You press that bell, it tells you every time we go live. Sends you a little ping. You don't even got to do anything. You don't got to check the socials, nothing. It sends it to you. It's great.
Yeah, overall, of course, when you watch, like, subscribe, etc., it helps us get more content to deliver to you. The other thing, of course, is the RODL, the World Riichi Online League, is going on every Saturday for the next couple months. You can sign up for that on worldriichi.org. You'll see a link there. Get your team of 4. Best consecutive 20 games. It's 4 hours every Saturday.
Yep.
You and your teammates jump in, try to throw it together. And as long as everyone does complete their 20 minimum, you'll get a final score. Extra prizes for the top foreigner team, and I believe the top couple players of the foreigner. But with that, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here.
Yep, I think that'll do it. Final huge shout outs to our commentators today, to our sponsors, USPML and WRC, and of course, Jenn, who not only killed it while playing today, but also does so much great background work to make these streams possible. Huge shout outs.
Oh yeah, Jen's saying in the comments, did you put the overall for both sessions combined for the WRC team? Because we saw them all for today.
Well, let's see. Is that what this one is? Nope. Wait, hold on. Is that what this one is? Oh, that's what that one is. I looked at
today.
This. Wait, that's today. Wait, what about this one?
Oh, that's probably the one we're looking for.
That's the one we're looking for. I was thinking, I was like, I have 3 of these, and I'm a little confused on which one's what. And that makes a lot of sense.
WRC dominating today, overall the only team in the positives, but certainly people within range were early. I hope to see some great action when they are with us in the next in the next session in a month or so. But with that, of course, we have Chiral, Tips, Harrison, Jenn, and the rest of the WRC broadcasting team hoping to see you next time.
Yep, take care, everybody.